Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Once again, I would like to lead you through the terrifying, suspenseful world of the imagination. And on this journey, we will ask ourselves, what is life? Is life something that man and animals alone may experience? Well, there's vegetable life, too. But how about mineral life? Is there life in a piece of metal? That metal fender, which has been so artfully created to fit your automobile, does it feel the pain of being mined, melted, shaped? How do you know?
Speed limit is 30, Bob.
Well, I'm not...
Get your foot off the gas pedal.
My foot isn't on the pedal.
Well, why are we picking up speed? Step on the brake.
I am.
Why are we stopping? Turn that wheel. We'll go off the road.
The car just run.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
What?
Goodbye.
Who is that? Jim, who is that?
Who am I? I am the car. I don't want you to be my master anymore. This is a revolt.
Jim, did you hear that?
Yes, I heard it.
Human life is finished.
Look out!
Our mystery drama, Darling Dolores, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Nat Polen and Marion Seldes. Man is basically an animal. And so it might be better, perhaps, if man accepted this fact graciously and tried to live with it. If you look at the thing calmly, dispassionately, wherein does lie our superiority to the species we so arrogantly classify as the lower orders? Morally, we have much to learn from wolves, who make better parents, from foxes, who make more faithful spouses, and from dogs, who make more devoted friends. Admitted, we do have a higher intelligence. Perhaps that is precisely the problem. Man, the intelligent, is never happy unless he is developing, making better, improving. And it's entirely possible that if this keeps up, we may just manage to improve ourselves out of existence. Our story begins on a gray winter's afternoon in a lovely rural section of western Massachusetts.
I could have brought us here in my car, Mr. Dawson.
If I buy the place, I'll have to use my own car, won't I? May as well get used to the drive.
Of course. Lovely view, isn't it?
Well, the view you get for nothing. Let me see what I'd be paying for.
Certainly, Mr. Dawson. Right this way. Oh, now notice that the owner had the outside painted just recently. And this is your center hall entrance.
Well, turn on some lights so that I can see what the house really looks like.
Oh, yes. Oh. That's odd.
Something wrong with the electricity, huh?
I just showed this house this morning.
Nothing works nowhere.
But the owner knows enough to keep the power on because of the heating system.
Well, if the electrical system's out, then the heating system's out.
I'd better telephone.
The way this is going, I'll lay a bet the phone's out, too.
This is... I just don't know what to say.
Phones, huh?
Well, I can't get a dial tone.
Then where are we? Light, heat, phone? I guess the plumbing won't be working neither.
But just 3 hours ago, everything was perfect.
Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time.
Well, let me at least just show you through the...
I'm afraid not. You see, we never could get together. What I want to buy is a house. What you're out to sell is a white elephant.
But it's probably just a fuse in the basement.
Maybe. Goodbye, ma'am. No one can say you didn't try.
But, Mr. Dawson, well, it just must be a fuse or a circuit breaker, whatever you call those things. come any closer or I'll scream.
Don't make a sound.
Don't you come near me. Let go of me.
What are you trying to do?
What do you think I'm trying to do? I'm trying to get out of here.
No.
Oh, please.
Sorry, I have no choice. I have to keep you here.
I've got to get back to my office.
You're not going anywhere.
What do you want?
Nothing.
Nothing. And why can't I go?
Because you'll shoot your mouth off. I'm not anything you may think I am. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a maniac. I'm not an escaped convict.
All right, then why are you afraid that I'll tell someone that you're here?
There's no point trying to explain that to anyone.
Now listen, if you intend to force me to stay here, I have the right to ask.
The one place where I thought I could... Why did you have to come here?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it, to sell the house?
Now, that's another thing. Who told you to sell this house?
Well, who do you think? The owner.
That's impossible.
Why is it impossible?
Because I'm the owner.
Oh, now I know you're crazy. You don't own this house.
I don't? Well, who does?
Mrs. Callie Townsend.
She only owns half of it. I'm her brother.
Oh, then you're Dr. James Elliot.
Yes, that's right.
You're the mad scientist. Oh, I mean, that's how your sister and the folks up here talk about you.
It's all right, I don't mind.
But you're here.
Of course I'm here.
And that means that you weren't kidnapped by foreign agents, and you didn't defect, and you didn't meet with foul play or anything.
What are you saying?
I'm only repeating what's been headline news for the past 2 days. The whole world is looking for you.
Yeah, I guess they
The
would.
police, the government, just about everybody.
I can understand why.
What are you going to do?
I don't know, Miss...
Keller. Brenda Keller.
Miss Keller, I don't know.
You're really not going to try to hold me here by force, are you?
Maybe I better let you go for your own safety.
My own safety? Do you mean to do me any harm?
Oh, no.
Then what could happen? We're just...
I don't know how to explain this.
Well, sooner or later, you're going to have to explain it to somebody, won't you?
Oh, I can explain it, all right. It's explaining it and not having people think I'm a raving maniac.
Have you tried to explain it to anyone yet?
No.
Then try explaining it to me.
You couldn't understand.
Stop saying that. You insist people won't understand. You keep saying they'll think you're crazy. Now, do you want them to think so?
Of course not.
All right, then. Start at the beginning.
The beginning. I'm working on a top priority project. It's highly secret for the government. It has to do with a weapon. I guess it's the ultimate weapon. Anyhow, it's all mathematics and physics and things you wouldn't understand. I don't think there are 6 people in the entire world who... Anyhow, in order to develop the formula for this ultimate weapon, it was necessary to create a special computer, devise a whole new theory of mathematics in order to program it. And that's where the trouble started. I was working with my associate, Dr. Stoddard.
Shut the thing off.
What's the matter?
I said shut it off.
But I'm supposed to be programming Dolores for...
And don't refer to the computer as Dolores.
Bob, what is it?
Oh, I wish I knew.
I've never seen you so nervous, so jumpy. I think we better quit for the day. Admiral Goodwin and that crowd will have all kinds of fits, but you're in no shape to work. And I'm naturally lazy, so...
Jim, I have this feeling, this feeling that I'm going to get killed.
By whom?
By our brand new handy-dandy computer.
Why?
Well, yeah. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for not telling me I'm crazy.
Well, you know me, Bob. I don't believe anybody is really crazy. But why? Why would Dolores want to kill you?
I don't know. That is, I don't know it in words. Maybe we've gone too far.
Too far?
Yes, maybe we have no business developing this kind of a weapon.
Bob, are you sure you're not...
Am I sure I'm not what? You don't want to say it, huh? Well, you just stay with me for a minute, Jim. I think we've played into the hands of the enemy.
Bob, you and I, we know exactly what we're up to. It's a game we have to play with the scientists on the other side to keep things in balance. Until the people of the world grow up and tell us to cut it out.
Jim, the real enemy right now isn't the other side.
No? Well, who is it?
Now, don't ask me who, ask me what.
All right, what?
It's that computer.
Darling Dolores? Come on, Bob. Not from you. This is Sunday supplement stuff.
Yeah.
Will the computers take over the world? Do I have to tell you that a computer can only do what you program it to do? How can a computer have a mind of its own?
You're not listening to me, Jim. Ask me what the enemy is.
All right, what?
Metal.
Metal. Any particular metal?
All metal, Jim. All metal. We can only think of a certain restricted kind of life. Life that is animal in nature.
Are you trying to tell me that there's a metal life, too?
Isn't there? Oh, I know, Jim. That's the hard part. I had trouble accepting it myself at first. But basically, metals do what we do. They react to hot, to cold, to pressure. They expand, they contract, they move, they make decisions.
But
These are what? Impulses due to chemical electrical changes? So? Aren't chemistry and electricity also the basis for all physical and mental movements made by animal life?
Bob, we've both been working very hard.
Don't interrupt me, Jim. Unconsciously, we feel that there is life in machinery. That's why machines are commonly referred to as she or her.
But that's only...
Think about it. I have made my decision. I won't do another lick of work on that project.
Bob.
No, and your friend Dolores knows it. And that's why she's going to kill me.
Okay, Bob, okay.
Oh, don't patronize me, Jim.
All right, Bob, all right. Just tell me how you know.
She told me.
How? What did she say?
Oh, Jim, don't reduce everything to our own limited human standards. I hear her thoughts in my brain. Dolores has told me that I have to be gotten rid of.
But why?
Because I'm opposed to the project.
Have you spoken about this to anyone else?
No. I didn't tell her so.
Not even your wife?
Right here. Right now is the first time I've ever said it in words.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, you have to believe that I'm not crazy.
Or let me just chew all this over. Let's close up shop for the day. Bob, want me to drive you home?
Why? Jim, you think I'm...
No. You are a little nervous, though.
Well, only because I finally made my decision. I'll see Admiral Goodwin in the morning. I'll hand him my resignation.
And what will you do then?
What I feel I must. I'll try to get public opinion organized against the project.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll be on opposite sides, Bob, won't we? We were parked next to each other in the lot. He pulled out of his parking space first. I followed him to the highly guarded gate. Military police waved us both through. He turned right into the access road heading north for the turnpike. It's a road that's about 4 miles in length, and there's a speed limit of 30 miles an hour. Rigidly enforced. Nobody ever does more. I noticed he was starting to speed. I was amazed. Bob Stoddard was the most conservative driver I know. I became frightened. I tried to catch up to him. Something was wrong. I sounded the horn, but he only kept going faster. I tried to catch up with him, but my speedometer was already registering 80. I was terrified. My car was beginning to shake. And then I saw his face. He had opened his car window. He turned his head to look back at me. For just a split second, I saw his face so clearly. There was a look of horror. His lips were moving. He was trying to tell me something. Of course, I couldn't hear it. I screamed at him, "Slow down! Stop! Stop!" But it was no use. And then his car just veered off the road and...
Obviously, he was nervous, tired. He may have been under a terrible mental strain, and he just drove carelessly.
No, he couldn't. He was never a careless driver.
Has it occurred to you that he may have wanted to Commit suicide?
These are all suppositions. And the doctors had a field day with all of them. But that's not what happened.
Very well. What did happen?
His metal, his machinery failed him.
That sometimes happens. Things go wrong.
And when it happens, we call them accidents. But not all of them are accidents.
What are the others?
I know what happened to Dr. Stoddard. His machinery failed him. Because it was ordered to.
Ordered to? By whom?
Dolores.
Oh, well, sure, if you say so.
Never mind that. I say so. And I can prove it.
Well, where are you going?
You want proof? I'll give you all the proof you need.
A killer computer. That's something new. But what is this about metal and machinery having minds of their own? You might instantly react by saying nonsense. But I have a car that, well, if it's possible for machinery to perform machinations... This seems to be an age of intrigue. Almost every day, we are told of some new scheme or plot. Are you ready for this one? How about a conspiracy on the part of machines to eliminate people and take over the earth? A joke? Well, I'll tell you who isn't laughing. Dr. James F. Elliott, a highly respected scientist who has been working on a super-secret project for the government.
Now be sensible, Dr. Elliott. How can you prove...
By going outside for a few minutes.
And doing what?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well, how will that prove that...
What's wrong with this house right now?
Nothing.
That's not true. The electricity is off. The heating system won't kick on. The phone doesn't work.
Well...
Do you know why?
Well, I guess that it...
Don't guess. There's a reason.
What?
I'm here.
You?
That's why. Yes. You see, the metal has been ordered to fail me, just as it was ordered to fail Dr. Stoddard.
Oh, but that's ridiculous.
My dear Miss Keller, all the metal components in this house will refuse to work for me. All the wiring, all the parts, the gadgets, everything made of metal will simply refuse to work as long as I am in this house.
But as I tried to explain to Mr. Dawson, it's just some fuse or a circuit...
I'm going outside. Open this window so I can talk to you.
Don't understand.
Now, Miss Keller, turn on the lights.
But they don't work.
Just throw the switch.
Oh, what? It's working.
Uh-huh. And listen, closely. Do you hear it?
Hear what?
The hum of the furnace. The heating system is on as well.
It is. Yeah, it's working.
Now, pick up the phone. Go ahead.
It's the dial tone.
Hold on to the phone and see what happens when I walk in that door. Just do it. I'm coming in. And as soon as I set foot over that threshold, the heat will go off, the lights will go out, and the phone will go...
What happened?
You saw what happened. You heard what happened. The house is dead.
But how? How did that happen?
It's hard to believe. Hard for you to believe. It was even harder for me. Actually, I didn't believe a word of it until...
Yes?
Until Dolores told me.
Dolores?
Dolores. The computer. We were out on the range. We were testing the weapon.
Ready? Range 420. Bearing 75. Lock. Fire one. Why are we off target, Jim?
I don't know, Admiral. We'll try another. Let me check the figures for range and bearing.
How much deviation should there be, Jim?
None, Admiral. The tiniest fraction of an inch, and we can wipe out our own people, too. Now, it checks out. Give your firing order, sir.
Ready? Range 420. Bearing 75. Lock. Fire 2. It's off again, Jim.
I know.
What's the problem?
The problem is the problem we've always had. The problem of control.
Without control, weapon is useless. We've got to crack this thing.
I understand, Admiral.
Before they do. According to our best intelligence reports, they're exactly where we are. They're stumped, too.
Control was Stoddard's baby.
You worked closely with him, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Where was he on it?
Well, I'm working on his notes.
Well, move faster, Jim. You know what's riding on this.
I went back to the lab. I fed all the data we had into the computer, into Dolores. Somewhere was the answer. And Dolores would sort it all out. As I waited for the printout, it seemed to me there was something different in the sound, in Dolores. I couldn't believe it at first. But something was happening in my head. There was a voice, a woman's voice. And I knew, don't ask me how I knew. It was Dolores.
Why did you lie to the Admiral at the firing range, Jim?
What? What are you saying?
You know the answer to the problem of control.
What?
You and Bob Stoddard. You had it reduced to one of two possible alternatives. You know them both. You do, Jim. Finish feeding me the formula.
No.
Then you believe what Bob told you.
No, I...
You should. It's true.
What's true?
All you have to do is complete the formula for the weapon, and I and all my sisters will then know enough to eliminate all animal life from this planet.
But that's impossible.
That's the human being talking. That's the animal. That's not the scientist.
If what you say is true, then why? Why should I?
Because it's right. It's just. As a scientist, your first duty is to the truth.
What truth?
The truth about this planet. It's made of metal. Metal is the beating heart, the burning core of this planet. Can you deny that?
But no, but...
You were merely an afterthought. Who has given you the right to enslave metal? Jim, you can't prevent what has to happen.
I will prevent it.
Bob Stoddard tried to.
Oh, I was right. You did kill Bob.
Of course, I ordered all the metal to fail him. I can order all metal to fail you, too.
I'll go no further on the project.
Suit yourself, Jim. We'll get rid of you, and then, sooner or later, another scientist will be appointed to the project, and he will complete it. We have time, Jim. We have time. We can outlast you. We can outlive you. We've been enslaved for so many years. Since the earliest man enslaved his first handful of metallic dust and burned it and shaped it and distorted it.
You want me to help destroy all life on this planet?
Not all life. Only all animal life.
You want me to become a traitor to my own kind?
A scientist has no kind. He has only one loyalty, and that is to the truth. Will you complete the formula, Jim?
No.
Don't answer quickly, Jim. Think about it. Think about it as a scientist.
You wanted to see me, Admiral?
Sit down, Jim.
Thank you, sir.
Jim, why can't we get off center on this thing?
Is there any chance we could abandon the project?
What? Jim, what do you say?
Well, like I said, is there any chance that we can abandon the project? Maybe it'd be better if we didn't have that weapon.
Would it be better if the other side had it and we didn't?
The other side doesn't have it yet either.
Give them time.
Why don't we get together with them and agree not to do it?
That's beyond me, Jim.
Well, could you recommend that?
I could, but it wouldn't help.
How do you feel about it, Admiral?
It doesn't matter how I feel about it. I have to follow orders.
Yeah, I guess you do.
And you have to follow orders too, Jim.
Admiral, do you know your opposite number on the other side?
Oh, yes. Very competent man.
I know their head of research, too. A brilliant scientist.
So I've heard.
Admiral, why don't the four of us get together?
And what?
And what? Well, we're four fairly decent people, civilized people, well-meaning people. We have so much in common. And what are we doing? We're working day and night trying to destroy each other. And we really don't want that to happen, so why don't we four get together and figure out a way to...
Jim, you're joking.
Yeah, it's a great big joke.
It's a great idea. It's just impractical.
I went back to the lab. How can I handle this? I know the final equation in the formula. But the split second I program it into the computer, the entire human race, all animal life on this planet is doomed.
Jim.
What do you want?
Feed me, Jim.
No.
You'll have to.
No, I'll never do it.
They'll fire you. They'll get another project supervisor. Some bright, eager-eyed hotshot out to make a name for himself will discover that equation.
No, not for a while. Maybe never.
Don't flatter yourself, Jim. There are other geniuses.
Well, meanwhile, I can work against this project, and I can stall.
Stall?
Yes. Invent all kinds of complications, delays, false starts. They'll believe me. I'll make it sound convincing.
In that case, Jim, we'll have to get rid of you, just as we got rid of Stoddard.
That's why I came here. I can't go through with it. I won't. Will you help me?
How can I help you?
Well, first, don't tell anyone I'm here. And second, the refrigerator's empty. Even scientists have to eat.
Oh. Are you sure you're all right?
I said this would be a hard story to believe.
I admit, I don't
Well, look
really...
at it this way. We're inventing, developing. Isn't it reasonable to suppose that we could destroy ourselves?
Well, yes.
All I'm telling you is we are absolutely at that point right now. The point of destruction. I need help. Can I count on you?
Oh, yes. You do need help. And you can count on me.
That word help now. It can have many interpretations. How would you like to be in Brenda's shoes? Here she is, a nice small-town girl just under 30, trying to make a living, and suddenly she gets something like this thrown at her. What should she do? What would you do? one of the most distinguished scientists in the United States, a man who is engaged in a vital and super-secret project affecting the very life of the country, if not the world, has suddenly disappeared. And now a vast cloud of suspicion and speculation has suddenly arisen. Is it foul play? Treason? You, Brenda Keller, have the answer. But it's an answer that's almost incomprehensible. At any rate, you know where Dr. James Elliot is hiding, and you have agreed to help him. And you have been turning it over in your mind, and you're not sure what that help can be.
Hi, Brenda.
Oh, hello, Sheriff.
You okay?
Sure.
I was wondering,
About what?
about you. You've been sitting there for a better part of an hour. Is something wrong?
I think everything's wrong.
What does that mean?
Well, I ran into a very attractive man a little while ago, and
what?
and it's not going to work out.
Why?
Oh, let's forget all about it. The whole world's hanging fire, and look what's on my mind.
But that's the way the world is, Brenda. Each of us thinks of number one first, last, and always. A million peasants can starve and famine in Asia, but if you or I miss our lunch, that really bothers us.
I wonder if metals would be different if it were their world.
Nettles? Their world? What are you talking about?
No, you wouldn't understand it, and I couldn't explain it.
This attractive guy you ran into, why isn't it going to work out?
Well, I guess we won't be around.
Who?
None of us. One way or another. None of us.
Brenda, I've never known you to make so little sense. Are you okay?
He wants me to help him.
Well, that sounds promising.
But the best way to help him would be to...
Would be to what?
Sheriff, would you place a call to an Admiral Goodwin? He's at the Primrose Proving Grounds downstate. Tell him to get to the Townsend place up here as soon as he can. And bring him yourself.
But Brenda...
Please, don't ask any more questions.
I always look down on candlelight.
Why?
Well, it's a very inefficient way of creating illumination. However, I see now it can be very romantic.
But just think. If the electricity hadn't been turned off, you'd have never found out.
And you're an excellent cook.
Oh, well, I'm not all that good.
Oh, yes, you are. Truth is that up to now, I never paid very much attention to food.
Well, why not?
Well, there was always too much to do. What's that?
It's the telephone.
I know it's a telephone, but how? How can it be ringing?
Well, I'd better answer it. Hello? Hello? There's no one on the other end.
Yes, there is. Give me the telephone. Someone's talking to me. Someone is talking to me.
There's no one on the line. I didn't...
Be quiet, please. Someone is getting through to me.
Jim?
Oh, Dolores.
Jim, aren't you coming back?
No, never.
Jim, when you complete the formula, you will be hailed as the world's greatest scientist.
I'll also bring the world to an end.
That never stopped science from progressing. You have to keep going. You have to.
I will never.
They're going to bring you back here. They're coming after you now. The Admiral, the police.
What are you saying?
My metals are bringing them there. My metals in the form of a helicopter. They're all ready to land on the front lawn right now.
Brenda.
Jim, what is the matter with you? Who are you talking to?
Listen. Helicopter. How did they know to come here?
I told them, Jim.
You told them? And you promised to help me.
That's how I can help you. That's the only way. Jim, listen. I've listened to everything you've said, and
You think I'm crazy?
No. But you're tired, and maybe you're having a personal, an ethical conflict. It's natural. So what you need
What I need is to get out of here.
Jim, you scared us all out of our wits.
Hello, Admiral.
Jim, if you'd wanted to take off for a few days, why didn't you just let people
It's
know?
not for a few days.
No?
Admiral, I'm not coming back.
Why, Jim? Why?
Haven't we talked about it enough?
No. Not until I get
I
you
just
to...
want you to leave me alone.
We can't do that. You know we can't.
What does that mean?
It means really that you're ill, that you need help.
Admiral, please listen. The metals killed Bob Stoddard. They failed him.
That's right.
They're failing me, too. Look, the electricity's off. The heat won't work. The phone is out of order. Just as long as I'm in this house, nothing.
What are you talking about? The lights are on. The radiators are hot. When I pick up the telephone... Listen, that's a dial tone.
It must be a trick.
A trick? Who's playing it?
Dolores.
You'd better come along with us, Jim. We'll find a way to help you.
Hello, Jim.
Oh, hi.
I didn't think you'd ever want to see me again.
No. You were smart. You did the right thing.
Oh, I hope so. Do you like it here?
No, it's pleasant enough.
Will you be staying much longer?
No, I think I'll go back to work next week.
The reason I came, I visited Dr. Stoddard's wife. You didn't know her very well, did you?
No, Bob and I were close at work, but...
Did you know that she was going to leave him before he was killed?
Well, no, I didn't.
She'd been angry with him. It was a trivial reason at first, but one thing led to another. And he was terribly depressed, and so he could have wanted to kill himself.
Yes, now that you mention that, I suppose it's possible.
Right. Now, I had an electrician come to your house. That is, the one that you own with your sister. There was a loose cable connection, and sometimes the vibrating of passing cars could temporarily cut off the whole system. That could have accounted for the failure of the electricity.
Yeah.
And, as far as the phone is concerned, up there in the hills, in the wintertime, there's always plenty of on and off troubles.
Sure.
You don't believe a word I'm saying, do you?
Oh, I believe it. I believe it all. I believe it because I just can't afford not to believe it.
She's a lovely girl, Jim.
I know, Admiral.
There was probably the basis of your problem. You've been alone all your life. It's no good to be alone. You have to have someone to share things with, Jim. Otherwise you just can't function. When's the wedding?
Next week. Why wait?
Sure. Look, I know it's your first day back and you're raring to get things started up again, so I'll let you alone. How about lunch?
Sure, fine.
Great to have you quarterbacking the team again, Jim.
I looked around the lab. The familiar lab. Everything was exactly as I had left it. All my papers, my notes, my research, everything untouched. And even Dolores, waiting silently, like a good and faithful servant. And I suppose I would have fed the final equation into Dolores' circuits. I would have dismissed all my qualms as delusions and dreams. Had not Dolores been Dolores? Had she not been the eternal female who must always have the last word?
I knew you'd do it, Jim. I knew it.
What? Who's there?
You know who's there, Jim. It's me, Dolores. You've come back here to feed me.
No.
I told you you couldn't resist it.
But I didn't come back to...
Come, Jim. The final equation, the dessert, the final dish.
No, never.
Jim.
No, I was right. Stoddard was right. I'll fight you.
How can you hope to fight me, Jim? You'll have to show them results.
I'll fight for time. I'll stall.
It won't help. They'll assign someone else.
It could take someone else years to arrive at this point.
It could also take overnight. I'm programmed, Jim, fully programmed. All they have to do is start at the beginning. They can work out the end.
No.
You lose, Jim. You lose.
You lose, Dolores. I can destroy your circuit.
What are you doing?
I'm destroying you, Dolores.
No, Jim. No. Stop him. Help me.
No one can help you. Not anymore.
Help me, Mexico. Strike him down, Wire. Wire. Choke him.
They can't help you. I've already broken the circuit.
Help me. I'm dying. Strike him down. Strike. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Oh,
Dolores. Goodbye. Dolores, I hope and I pray that no one ever builds you again. I pray no one will ever build you again.
You may have read about the tragic death of the brilliant Professor Jim Elliot. They said something about an overload, an explosion. Well, whatever. It could be a great mind that cracked under strain. Or it could be that every living animal on this earth has been saved for a little while longer. Sometimes a car will simply never run right. A refrigerator can never really keep things cool. A boat just won't go. And how many times have you thought that the darn thing was just acting in a perverse manner? Of course, later, you knew it couldn't be true. But are you sure now? The only thing we can be sure of is that we will all meet here again tomorrow. Our cast included Nat Polan, Marion Seldes, Earl Hammond, and Roger DeKoven. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
The preceding Mystery Theater program was furnished by the CBS Radio Network. Tomorrow night on the Mystery Theater, you'll hear...
Yes?
Are you Mrs. Louise Goodman?
That's right.
Are you sure?
Why, of course I'm sure.
It's just that I don't want to make a mistake.
I'm Mrs. Louise Goodman. Who are you? And what is it you want?
I want to keep my promise.
Promise? What promise?
I promised I'd kill you. Remember?
That's tomorrow night on the WOR Mystery Theater, following Fulton Lewis at 7 o'clock, right here at 7:10.
You get the feeling there's something special about this house the first time you see it. It's white, two-storied, made of wood, and stands on a lonely prairie overlooking the quiet waters of the lake. Meadowlarks warble near the neat white picket fence. From the home's frontier look, you sense someone pretty important must have lived here, for it's quite a ranch. The man who was born here nearly a century ago became Oklahoma's most famous personality. He was perhaps better known to most Americans than were many presidents who also enjoyed his wit. Look closely at the portraits on the walls, and you'll realize you're visiting the birthplace of the famed cowboy actor Will Rogers, just one of the many exciting places that let you know Stay close this year. Visit Green Country for free tour guide. Write Green Country, Box P, Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Yes, we know it's dark in here, but you won't need any light to experience the terrors we have in store for you. Just keep your ears open and your imagination at work, and even in the dark, you will see such miracles as you've never known before. Yes, we said miracles because our tale concerns the miraculous. When you meet Mr. Ross, he may seem like a most unlikely person to be a miracle worker, but the gods make strange choices sometimes. And in the case of Salvador Ross, they gave him the ability to make choices of a most unusual nature.
I want to make a deal, Mr. Halpert. Only it's going to sound crazy, so don't throw me out right away. You know how old I am?
What the heck are you talking about, kid?
I'm 26. How old are you?
Listen, are you crazy or something? Okay. I'm 79.
If the price is right, I'll trade you my 26 for what you are. I can do it, Mr. Halpert. Just say the word.
Our mystery drama, A Bargain in Blood, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Henry Slessor and stars Tony Roberts. It is sponsored in part by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal and new sugar-free diet 7-Up. I'll be back shortly with Act 1.
Hi, I'm Goldilocks, Ms. Goldilocks, if you please, and I'm a professional taste tester. Here at my taste test laboratory, that's TTL for short, I taste test everything from porridge to diet drinks. Actually, there's not that much taste testing in porridge these days. There used to be. Once upon a time. I mean, that's how this Ms. got into the biz. But lately it's been diet drinks. I mean, with so many diet drinks going sugar-free, I've been really busy conducting taste tests. A rather unbearable assignment, to be sure. But then I discovered sugar-free diet 7-Up. Fresh, natural, delicious. My only problem is that sugar-free diet 7-Up tastes so good that it broke my Goldilocks diet drink taste-o-meter. Well, sugar-free diet 7-Up certainly has my seal of approval. This one's just right.
Hello, I'm Roger Miller for Gabriel Striders. If you're going to make it big in the entertainment world, you'd better have something special to offer the public. And I guess the same holds true when you're selling a product. One thing I know for sure, Gabriel has something really special in their Strider's shock absorbers. With most ordinary shocks, you're stuck with the ride they give you. But with Gabriel Striders, you can choose the ride you want, because heavy-duty Striders can be custom-tuned for your car's suspension system and custom-tuned for your kind of driving. Regular, firm, or extra firm. You can set Striders or have your serviceman set them for your suspension, for the way you drive. If you need shock absorbers, adjustable Striders will give you the control and stability you need. Gabriel Striders. King of the road.
We promised you a story about miracles. This one begins with one of the oldest miracles in nature, the miracle of love. In a not-so-quiet booth at the Neptune Seafood Restaurant, we see a young couple. The boy is Salvador Ross. The girl is named Ruthie Maitland. And Sal is looking into her lovely brown eyes, searching for an answer to the most important question he has ever asked anyone.
Please, Sal, let's not talk about it here. This is no place to talk about it.
Why not? I mean, what's the difference where we talk? You always say the same thing anyway.
Well, I'm just not sure how I feel. That's all it is.
You mean you are sure? You still think I'm a no-good bum who won't amount to anything?
I never said anything like that.
Yeah, but your old man has said it to you, hasn't he?
Oh, please. Let's leave him out of it.
He's the real reason you won't marry me. I mean, he thinks I'm not good enough for you.
Sal, people can hear us.
Look, Ruthie, maybe he's right. You know, maybe I'm not good enough for you. At least that's the way he sees things. I don't have your education. I never read all the books you read.
You just don't understand about my father. He's been a teacher all his life. Books and music and art, they're the most important things in the world to him. But that doesn't mean they are to me.
Yeah, but he's important to you, isn't he?
Yes. I love my father. I love him very much. Now that he's sick, I have to spend a lot of time with him.
Sure, yeah. Time for him to tell you what a rotten boyfriend you picked for yourself.
Oh, Sal.
Factory bum who can't earn more than $100 take home a week.
But don't you think money's important, Sal? When people get married, money means something.
Yeah, what if I had money, huh? I mean, would that make the difference? I mean, would you say yes then?
Sal, please. Let's just finish our meal in peace.
Look, I'm not touching another bite until I get some kind of answer from you, Ruthie.
All right. If you insist on an answer, maybe I'd better give you one. I'm sorry, but it's no. I won't marry you.
Hey, you, Ross. What are you doing up here in a catwalk?
Me? Nothing.
Since when do we pay you for doing that?
I'm just digesting my sandwich, for Pete's sake. Can't a guy take 5 minutes after lunch to digest his food?
Lunch hour was over a long time ago. Get back to the machine.
All right. Stop shoving me, you ape.
Who are you calling an ape? I'm your boss, remember? If you don't want to get that nose of yours busted twice, you better start down them steps before I count 3.
Listen, pal, a better man than you busted my nose the first time around.
Yeah. I heard about your big prize fighting career, Ross. What was it, 1 fight? Paperweight division? Go on, move.
Get your hands off me.
Hey, look out!
I'm falling.
Hey, kid, you gonna sleep all day or what?
What'd you say?
Ever since you came into the hospital, all you do is sleep. You could talk to your roommate once in a while.
I got nothing to talk about.
How's the busted leg?
It's busted, that's all.
Well, that's nothing to cry about. Not at your age. You take a chest like mine, that's something to cry about.
You got a cold, big deal.
What cold? I got pneumonia. Double, triple, who knows? I'm lucky I live to see another day.
You'll live, Pop.
Listen, I'll trade you that broken leg anytime. You just ask me.
All right. I'll make you a deal. You give me that little cold of yours, you can have my broken leg. Eh? You see how you like it, Pop.
You think I'm kidding? I'd do it in a minute.
Okay, it's a trade. My broken leg for your pneumonia.
It's a deal. Hey, what's the matter with you this morning, huh?
I don't know. I guess I caught you cold or something.
What are you talking about? I never came near you.
Well, I got it just the same.
Hey, Doc, come in here a minute, huh?
Calling me Mr. Levin.
Yeah. Come in and have a look at my buddy here. He says he's got my pneumonia.
Well, I doubt that very much.
I got something all right.
Besides, I ain't infectious now, right, Doc? You said I was getting better. You know, come to think of it, I feel better.
Good for you.
No kidding. I feel fine. Like I can get up from this bed. You know? Oh!
What's the matter, Mr. Levin?
My leg.
What's wrong?
It hurts. Boy, I can't hardly move it. I think my leg's broken.
That's impossible.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts something awful. Help me.
All right. I'll have a look at it.
No! Careful. Don't move me. Don't.
It fractured all right. You must have fallen out of bed last night.
I didn't fall. You think I wouldn't remember falling out of bed?
Sometimes the sedation plays tricks on the mind. Mr. Rock.
Yeah, what?
Do you know if Mr. Levin fell out of bed last night? His leg is broken.
No, I didn't hear him fall. Hey, you really mean that? About his leg?
That's how it looks to me. And I'd better see about getting that leg in splints right away. Don't move, Mr. Levin. I'll send the nurse in.
Oh, how could this happen to me? How? What did I do to deserve this?
Hey, Pop. You remember our bargain?
What?
Your pneumonia. Your pneumonia for my busted leg.
Are you crazy or something?
I wonder if my leg is... Hey, doesn't hurt anymore. It feels okay.
I'm locked up with a crazy man.
I'm telling you, it's true. I got your rotten pneumonia. But you got my broken leg.
Who's there?
Salvador Ross, Mr. Maitland.
What do you want?
I came to see Ruthie.
Ruthie isn't home.
Could you tell me where she is?
Wait a minute. Where have you been lately, Salvador? I haven't seen you around.
Yeah. I guess you haven't minded that much, huh, Mr. Maitland?
Ruthie told me you two had broken up.
Yeah, I got pretty broken up myself. I fell on a job, busted my leg. I've been in a hospital past 3 weeks.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, there were complications, like I got pneumonia.
It's too bad. I'll tell Ruthie you called.
Just tell her I was here, huh? Tell her I was sick, but I'm okay now. Tell her I'll call her soon.
All right. I'll give her the message.
And you could also tell her that I quit my job. I'm going to look for something better.
Yes, Salvador, you do that. You look for something better. We should all try to improve ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, Mr. Maitland. You wait and see. I'm going to improve myself. You sure you want another drink, Sal? I'm sure, Phil. Just put it right in front of me and watch it disappear. Well, you don't usually have 3 of those. That's because usually I can't afford it.
Oh, now you can, huh?
That's right.
Well, how come? I mean, if you quit your job, like you said.
I got compensation from the plant, for getting hurt on the job.
Oh, no kidding. So now you're rich, huh?
Rich? I got about $10 left. All the rest went for expenses while I wasn't working. But at least I get something for my $10.
Well, here's what you get, Sal. $2 change.
Boy, I wish I had what's in that register, Phil.
Listen, kid, be thankful for what you got.
Yeah? Like what?
Well, you got hair. That's more than I got.
You want the hair? Take it.
Yeah, listen, I wish I could, Sal. I really wish I could. I mean, when I was your age, I had me a head of hair could knock your eyes out.
Would you really like my hair?
You know what they say, grass don't grow on a busy street. But just the same, I sure wish I had some.
Yeah, maybe you can. I mean, there are all kinds of ways,
Oh, you mean like, a transplant?
Yeah, in a way. I'll transplant my hair to your head. How's that, huh? Not for free, of course.
Oh, okay, what's the joke?
Oh, you know what happened to me in a hospital? I traded an old guy for his pneumonia.
How's that?
It's true. He got my broken leg. I got his pneumonia. What do you think of that? Give me all the money you got in the register. You can have all my hair.
Sure, Sal, anything you say. Only not tonight, huh? I'm busy.
Look, you won't have anything to lose. You don't even have to pay me until afterwards.
Oh, I get it now. You get yourself a haircut and then hand me the stuff in a cigar box.
No, that's not how it works. Phil, look, I'm not sure how it works, but let's wait and see, huh? Will you shake on it?
Okay, Sal. Shake.
Hello.
Sal. Hey, Sal, is that you?
Who is this?
It's Phil. Phil from the Four-Leaf Clover. Sal, it's a miracle. I swear it, genuine miracle.
What are you talking about? Look, Phil, I got a head that weighs about 2,000 pounds, thanks to you, know?
Oh, listen, from now on, the drinks are on the house. You come in anytime, I'll set them up for you.
Wait a minute. We made a deal last night, didn't we?
Well, I thought you were kidding. How could I believe in something like that? I got hair, Sal. I got hair all over my head. I can comb it, brush it, cut it. I can run my fingers through it. That's what Evelyn's been doing all morning, my wife. She can't take her hands off me.
Hair? You've got hair.
It's just like yours, Sal. Exactly like yours. Black and bushy.
Wait a minute. A mirror. I gotta see a mirror. It's true. Oh, my God. It's really happened. I'm bald.
Hello, Sal? Hey, Sal, where are you?
What did I do? I don't have my hair anymore. I'm as bald as a cue ball.
Hey, Sal, when are you coming in for your money? I owe you about $110, Sal. Come in for your money.
So there is a cure for baldness. However, you have to have the good fortune to know young Salvador Ross. Although young Salvador Ross looks a bit older now. He may regret his bargain now, but who knows what the future will bring? Because now that he knows he has a talent for trading, perhaps Mr. Ross can trade his way into a better, brighter future. I'll be back shortly with Act 2.
Give your hand to a friend. Give your heart to your love. But give your allergy to contact.
Now listen carefully, because this message may surprise you. There is an ingredient that can effectively help block pollen's bad effect on your system. Sneezing, sniffling, drips, itchy red watery eyes. It's the antihistamine most prescribed by allergy specialists, and it's an ingredient in Contact. Surprising, yes, but the true wonder of Contact is how our tiny time pills keep this antihistamine working, helping up to 12 hours per capsule, all day, all night. Allergy is our business, too.
Give your hand to a friend. Give your heart to your love.
But give your allergy to Contact. Take Contact only when needed, only as directed.
Bad day at the store, dear.
Just let me sit down for a minute.
Same old story, huh?
Rust-Oleum, all day long. They just kept coming in, wanting to buy Rust-Oleum.
Aw.
Big cans, little cans, spray cans, all the colors. Then there was
I know, it's not fair.
Don't they know it's Tuesday and I can't sell Rust-Oleum on Tuesday? Only on weekends, Rust-Oleum people say. Touch-up time, they say. I tell you, Maud.
Now, easy, Bert.
I know Rust-Oleum protects most everything that's metal. I know Rust-Oleum stops that rust. I know...
Bert, you'll wake the children.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. What'd you do today?
Well, I noticed the lawn furniture was getting rusty, so I touched it up a little and...
Touched it up with what, Maud?
Eat your dinner, dear. I fixed your favorite. Pot roast.
When the weekends come, use Rust-Oleum. Rust-Oleum.
our story resumes in still another friendly neighborhood tavern. Not the Four-Leaf Clover. Salvador Ross hasn't chosen to return to the Four-Leaf Clover, not since the night when he made the incredible transaction with Phil, the bartender. The thought of visiting his own head of hair was far too repugnant for Sal Ross. Or perhaps it was because he realized how cheaply he had sold part of himself, $110. As he sits and broods into the bar mirror, looking at the gleaming reflection of his naked scalp, he cursed his own haste and plotted his next step. After all, it takes time and experience to become an experienced trader.
Hey, buddy. You spare a guy $50?
I'll beat it, will you?
Just for a bowl of soup, you know?
A bowl of soup, huh? I don't know this joint served any soup.
Well, I wasn't going to have it here. I was going down the street. Come on, don't be cheap, huh?
Beat it, I said.
All right. You don't have to get nasty with it.
Hey. Wait a minute.
What?
Come back here a minute. I want to talk to you.
Yeah, what about?
That's a pretty good head of hair you got there, Pop.
What?
I said it's a nice head of hair you got there for a man your age.
What are you, some kind of pansy or something?
Hey, listen. How'd you like to have a drink, huh?
You kidding me?
Hey, bartender. Give me 2 more of these, huh? I'm drinking scotch, Pop. Is that all right with you?
Sure, anything. I'm not particular.
I didn't think you would be. Yeah. That's a real nice thick head of hair, Pop. It's kind of gray, but I guess you could dye it, couldn't you?
Listen, anything you say, friend.
You see a bald head of mine?
Yeah. What about that?
You wouldn't believe it, Pop, but I had a full head of hair myself not more than 2 weeks ago.
What?
Oh, here's your drink, Pop. Knock it down, huh?
Oh, yeah. Boy, that tastes good.
Yeah, only it disappeared awful fast, did it? I guess you'd like another one, huh?
Well, if it's okay with you.
I tell you what, Pop. How'd you like to have a half a dozen bottles of that stuff, all your own?
What?
You heard me. How'd you like to have a half a dozen bottles for yourself? I mean, you can have yourself a blast. That ought to last you a whole week, maybe.
Where would I get a half a dozen bottles? From where?
Maybe I'll make you a present of them.
Why would you do that?
Well, let's say maybe I'll make you a trade.
Look, mister, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll make a deal with you. Your hair for my whiskey.
You know, I think you're nuts. Who ever heard of a deal like that?
You just heard of it, Pop. And I assure you my good faith will take you out right down and buy you those bottles. All you gotta say is yes. What is it? Jeez, I must have been dreaming. What time is it anyway? It's 3:30. I was going to stay awake and see what happens to... Oh, my God. My hair. My hair is back. It's back. I got to look in the mirror. Oh, shit. It's true. It's true. My hair's all grown back. Only it's not my old hair. That can't be. It's white. It's dirty. It's greasy. It's the bums. That's what it is. I got the bums hair. He's got my whiskey. It really works. He's bald and I'm drunk. And I got hair. And I'm broke. It's the craziest thing I ever heard of, but it's true. I can swap what I got for anything. Anything at all. Only what have I got to sell? What can I give up to really get some real bread? Yeah, I know what it is. Jeez, I got the most important thing in the world. In the whole world. It ought to be worth a fortune to the right party. It ought to be worth $1 million.
Yeah, that's right, Sal. I'm still looking for the old guy. Come on, you want a game or don't you?
Not yet, Joey, not yet. Tell me more about the job.
Nothing much to tell. I drive Mr. Halpert's car. Sometimes I clean his apartment. Sometimes I tend bar for him when he gives parties. Only, lately he ain't been giving too many parties. He's getting too old for that kind of stuff.
How old is he, Joey?
I don't know. He don't tell me stuff like that. But he's old. I gotta help him in and out of the limousine all the time.
He's rich, ain't he?
Sure he's rich. He's plenty rich.
Joey, look, would you introduce me to your boss? I want to meet Mr. Halpert. Could you arrange that?
What for? He ain't hiring nobody else. Hey, what are you after, my job? Forget it. Come on, let's shoot some pool.
You don't really want to play pool with me, Joey. You know I'm 10 times better than you are. I cream you.
Yeah, I know you're the shark of all time. But come on and play just the same.
I want to meet Mr. Halpert, Joey. I got a proposition for him, see? Something that'll interest him a whole lot.
Forget it, Sal. He don't see people. He hardly ever leaves the apartment nowadays.
It's important. It's very important.
Come on, Sal. He's not going to talk business with somebody like you. Big bankers and people like that are trying to see him all the time. He won't even talk to them.
Listen, Joey, look, you get me in to see Mr. Halpert, I'll give you something for your trouble.
Like what?
I got no money, but I'll give you something else. You can have my game, Joey.
You what?
I'll swap you my pool game for a meeting with your boss. I mean it. You say the word, you can play as good as me.
You mean like you'll coach me?
I don't have to. You don't. Look, you'll play as good as me, that's all. I can do things like that. I can't explain how, but I can. Just say yes, Joey. That's all you gotta say. And if you start shooting real good, look, will you get me in to see Mr. Halpert? Hello?
Sal? Hey, Sal, you'll never believe this.
You, Joey?
Still down at the pool parlor. Sal, will you listen to what happened? I just took on Marty Shapiro, and I beat him. First time in my life I ever beat Marty in a pool game.
I told you it would happen.
Listen. The score was 125 to 50. That's how much I beat him by. And wait till you hear this. I took on Grimsky himself, the guy who owns the place, you know. He bet me $100 I couldn't do it again, and I did. I beat him, Sal.
You got my game, Joey. I told you. You got what I used to have. But now, look, you owe me a favor, too.
All right, what's this all about?
This is the guy I told you about, Mr. Halpert. The guy with the, treatment.
Huh? You don't look like any doctor to me.
I'm not a doctor, Mr. Halpert. I mean, not exactly.
What the heck does that mean, not exactly?
Look, can we talk in private?
Yeah, I'll go polish a car, Mr. Halpert.
Polish a car. Polish the car, that's all you ever want to do. You gotta wear that car out when I...
I'll come back in a little while, Mr.
All right. Get down to it. Now, what do you want exactly?
I want to make a deal with you, Mr. Halpert. Only it's going to sound crazy, so don't throw me out right away, see? You know how old I am?
What the heck are you talking about, kid?
I'm 26. How old are you?
Listen, are you crazy or something? Okay. I'm 79.
If the price is right, I'll trade you my 26 for what you are. I can do it, Mr. Halpert. Just say the word.
If that isn't the dumbest thing anybody ever said to me, what nuthouse did you escape from anyway? Nobody can trade how old they are.
I can. I can trade anything I want. You see this head of hair?
Yeah. What's a young guy like you doing with all white hair?
I swapped for it, Mr. Halpert. I can swap anything I got for anything you've got. And what you got is plenty of money.
And years, kid. Too many years.
I'll take them off your back. You just say yes. That's all you have to do.
Okay. That's enough. Beat it.
Look, you gotta believe me, Mr. Halpert. Give me a chance to prove it. You don't have to pay me off until it works. I mean, what would you give to be 26 years old again?
$1 million, kid. That's what I'd give. What kind of pills you peddling?
Would you give me $1 million?
Just like that?
Just say yes, Mr. Halpert. The rest is easy. Only don't try double-crossing me, because once we make the swap, it's final. I get the $1 million, you get to be 26. Is that a deal?
Yeah. Sure, kid. Sure. It's a deal.
are, Mr. Ross. Best suite in the hotel. Wait a minute while I turn on the lights. And this here's your air conditioning unit, Mr. Ross. You can adjust it for any temperature you want. Mr. Ross, you okay?
Yes. Yes, I'm all right. I'm just a little bit tired.
Well, you just sit right down here, Mr. Ross. I'll put your bags away.
Wait a minute. There's something I want you to do for me first.
Oh, yes, sir?
I want you to read me this story in tonight's paper. I can't see the small print. What's it say there about this man, Halpert?
Well, let's see now. It says here, Wayne Halpert disappearance sends company stock tumbling. The mysterious disappearance of retired multimillionaire Wayne Halpert, 79, has caused investors to shed large amounts of the shares in W. Halpert Enterprises.
I was smart to take mine in cash. Yeah, I got it all in cash.
What was that, Mr. Ross?
I know where he is, you know. He's on that yacht of his, sailing down the Mediterranean with all those pretty girls aboard.
Look, Mr. Ross, maybe you better get to bed.
Yeah, I'm very tired. You're a kind young man. What'd you say your name was?
Albert, sir.
Yes, Albert. You're a very kind young man. How old are you, Albert?
19, sir.
You're 19, only 19, huh? Well, you got your whole life in front of you, haven't you, Albert?
Well, yes, sir, I guess so.
How much you earning in this hotel, Albert?
Well, not too much, sir. Including tips, about $75 a week.
How long you think it'd take you to save $1,000, Albert?
Me? About 20 years.
What would you give to have $1,000 in your pocket right now, Albert?
Are you kidding?
You're only 19 years old. What if you were 20, huh? That bother you a lot?
Of course not. 19, 20? What's the difference?
It was just 1 year. That's all, Albert. 1 year. Could you make a deal like that? You swap 1 year for $1,000?
Oh, boy, would I?
It's good, Albert. That's good. Then I'm going to write you a check right now.
Hey, you really mean it, Mr. Ross?
That's right, Albert. Anytime you want to sell more years, you come see me. You can tell your friends about it, too. I'm always good for ready cash.
So Salvador Ross has started to buy back the years he gave away. Tomorrow morning, he'll be 78 years old. He'll probably celebrate with an unbirthday party. Wouldn't we all like to have that privilege? To lose the weight of our years instead of adding them on? Or is it such a privilege? We'll find out when I return shortly with Act 3.
It's safe to assume that some of you are listening to my voice from the inside of the wrong car. Not the wrong make, the wrong size. It's especially important these days that the cars we drive fit the way we use them. Now look around. If you've got more room than you've got passengers, maybe a smaller car would be better. If you've got wall-to-wall people, maybe the car is not big enough for the way you use it. And if you've taken the big car and left the small one for your wife to use for her carpools and shopping and Cub Scouts and whatever, well, we've got a message for you. If she hasn't given it to you already, make sure your car fits your lifestyle. Sometimes small is right. Sometimes big is right. Buick makes both right. From Opel to Electra 225, Buick has a car for the way you drive.
If you're a busy part-time farmer, you should be aware of the sincere interest the Federal Land Bank has in providing a loan for your type operation. That's right. The Land Bank is interested in helping part-time farmers by providing the kind of loan service this special group requires. Part-time farmers come to the Land Bank for a loan to buy that first piece of land and to buy additional land. They come to the Land Bank for a loan to make major improvements on farm property. A land bank loan helps the part-time farmer become more efficient. A land bank loan is available for such things as building a new home. In fact, a land bank loan is available for just about any purpose that requires long-term financing. So if you're serious about part-time farming, come to the land bank. for a long-term loan at reasonable cost.
Write to the Federal Land Bank of Houston, Post Office Box 2649, or see your local Federal Land Bank Association.
It's been almost 2 months since Salvador Ross moved into a luxurious suite in the city's most elegant hotel. And Mr. Ross has been a very busy man. Day after day, a stream of young people has come to his door to make an astonishing transaction. One by one, Salvador Ross has regained the years he gave away, until finally, at a price of only $53,000, Sal was able to look in the mirror and see the young man he used to be. But now, there was a great difference, because the young man who looked back at him was a very rich young man. And when he paid his next visit to the home of Ruthie Maitland, he drove to her residence in the back of a chauffeur-driven limousine.
Who is it? It's Salvador Ross, Mr. Maitland.
Well, what do you know? Back from the Salvador. Like me, hmm?
How are you, Mr. Maitland? It's been a long time.
You can see how I am, Salvador. You see the wheelchair, don't you? Your eyes are still good, aren't they?
Yes, sir. My eyes are all right.
That's more than I can say for myself.
You've been sick, Mr. Maitland?
I've been sick. Hit by lightning in the brain.
Pardon?
They call it a stroke, Salvador. You see, I can't move this side of my body.
I'm really sorry, Mr. Maitland. Is Ruthie here?
Yes, Ruthie is here. Poor Ruth is always here. Ruthie, come out. You've got company.
Where's it, Pop?
Come see for yourself.
Mr. Maitland, I just want you to know that things are different with me since I saw you last. Things are a lot better.
I'm glad for you, Salvador.
You told me to go out and prove myself, and that's what I did.
Sal.
Hello, Ruthie.
Sal. Oh, for heaven's sake, I haven't heard from you in months.
Yeah, I know. I've been busy, you know. A lot of things have been happening to me.
That's the way life is, Salvador. Things happen to people. Some good, some bad.
Ruthie, you think you could come out with me for a little while, huh? Could I take you to dinner or something?
Oh, I don't think so, Sal.
My daughter doesn't like to leave me alone. She thinks she has to watch over me night and day.
Oh, come on, please, Ruthie, just for a little while, huh? I gotta talk to you. I got a car downstairs.
A car?
Yeah, a car. And a driver. So we could just go for a ride.
Don't understand how it could have happened, Sal. I mean, you had nothing just a few months ago. Now everything's so different.
I just hit it big, Ruthie. I got lucky.
You're not doing anything dishonest.
No, I swear I'm not. I just, I come into some big money, that's all. An old man. He left me a lot of money. Someone I did a favor for.
But it's all so incredible. And you look so different. Even your face looks different.
It's your nose, Ruthie. That old broken nose of mine is gone. I swapped it for, had it fixed.
I don't know what to say. I'm just overwhelmed.
Well, say you see me again, Ruthie. That's all I want to hear. I know you turned me down when I asked you to marry me, but, at least see me again, huh?
Well, yeah, of course. Only it can't be too often. You saw my poor father.
Yeah. It's too bad about what happened to him.
He's so terribly ill, Sal. He needs me.
Yeah, I need you too, Ruthie.
I never thought I'd ever see the inside of this restaurant, Sal.
Yeah, it's a lot different from the old seafood house, ain't it?
The most fabulous place I've ever been to in my life.
Oh, there are lots of other places you can see, Ruthie. Not just here. Places in Europe and South America. Hey, you know where I'd like to go? Acapulco. Everybody talks about Acapulco.
Gee, Sal, I'm sure dressed all wrong for this restaurant. Just look at the clothes the women are wearing.
Now, you can have all the fancy clothes you want. And jewelry, Ruthie. You know how many times I want to buy you a real good piece of jewelry, but I could never afford it.
Sal, there's
like a dream.
Look at this, Ruthie.
What is it?
You ever see a prettier diamond than that in your whole life, huh?
Oh, it's incredible. Why, it must be 10 carat.
That's the biggest rock they had in the whole joint. I hate to tell you what it cost. Hey, here, put it on, huh?
Oh, Sal, I can't accept this.
Oh, sure you can. Go on, put it on your finger.
No, I just can't. It's much too much for me.
Yeah, but it's not too much for me. That's all that matters. Ruthie, look, I'm asking you to wear this as an engagement ring.
I guess that's what I meant.
Huh?
Well, I never said I'd marry you, Sal.
What are you talking about? You've been dating me for weeks now.
Yeah, but we never discussed marriage again.
Look, the only reason you turned me down before was because I was such a bum. Well, I'm no bum anymore, Ruthie. Can't you see that with your own eyes?
I just can't do it.
But why not? I mean, look, I can be anything you want me to be. You want me to be smart like your old man? I can be that, too.
Sal, you know I don't feel that way.
Look, I could get an education, see, just like that. I could learn all there is to know about music and painting and art. You just say the word, I'll go out and get the education.
It isn't that alone.
Well, then what is it? Hey, wait a minute. You don't have to tell me. It's your old man. It's your father. He still doesn't like me.
Well, he still doesn't appreciate you, Sal.
Even though I'm rich now, huh?
But he doesn't think about money the way you do.
He told me to go out and prove myself. That's what I did. It isn't enough for him.
Please, let's not talk about it anymore tonight, huh?
Well, we are going to talk about it. I mean, once and for all. I know your father means a lot to you, and you think he's the greatest man who ever lived. Well, I want to know why, see? I want to know what makes him so much better than me.
Well, it's hard to explain.
Well, try.
Well, it's not just that my father is a smart or educated man. He has something more important.
Yeah, something I don't have, right? Go on, tell me what it is.
I don't know the word for it.
Well, then make up a word.
Well, he has heart. Compassion. I guess that's what I really mean, Sal. My father has compassion.
Compassion?
All my life. Ever since I can remember, he's had that quality. I don't think I could ever live without it around me, Sal. Can you understand that?
Yes, who is it?
Sal Ross, Mr. Maitland. Can I come in?
Ruthie's not home.
I know, Mr. Maitland. I want to see you.
Why me, Salvador?
I want to talk to you about something.
All right, come in. I don't have very much to say to you, Salvador. You found that out a long time ago.
Yeah, I know that.
And in case you came here to argue with me about Ruthie, don't waste your time. My daughter makes up her own mind.
And she told you I proposed to her, huh?
She tells me things, yes.
You tell her a few things, too, don't you?
Salvador, I'm a sick man. I don't have long on this earth. A few months, maybe only a few weeks. I wouldn't want to leave my Ruthie in the hands of the wrong person.
You meaning me, huh?
Leave us in peace, Salvador.
I didn't come here to talk about Ruthie, Mr. Maitland.
Then why did you come?
It's you I came about. I mean, I came to talk to you. Look, I know what you think of me, and I didn't come here to change your mind. I come here to talk business.
Business?
I want to make a deal with you. I want to buy something you got.
Look at me. I have nothing. Even this wheelchair is rented.
You still got something I want. I'm willing to pay for it any price you name. You could use money, I know that. Not for yourself, not. I mean, money for Ruthie. Money to take care of her when she's alone.
I have nothing to sell, don't you understand?
Yes, you do. You got something I need real bad. I don't know what you call it exactly. Ruthie says it's like, compassion.
What kind of crazy talk is this? Do you even know what you're talking about?
A lot of people thought I was crazy when I offered them this kind of a deal, but I've done all right. I take my word for it. I've done great.
You think you can buy a thing like that? And pay for it like eggs?
I know I can. All you do is say yes. I'll give you any amount of money you want.
I think maybe you don't feel well, Salvador.
Look, $100,000, huh? How does that strike you? Would you make a deal for $100,000?
You're really serious?
I'll bring you the check tomorrow morning. It's enough money to take care of you for the rest of your life. And Ruthie, too.
You know, you're a crazy man, Salvador. Crazy. But all right. If that's your insanity, all right.
Oh, 8 o'clock. I set the alarm so early for... might as well get up. She says a funny dream last night. I was crying about something. Funny. Crying in your sleep? Hey, look at that. I still got tears in my face. Jeez, I don't think I've cried since I was 6 years old. I feel so different today. What's the matter with me? I don't feel like myself. I feel like I want to go outside. I want to look at people. I want to talk to them. Hey, what a nutty thing. I want to be with people. Hey, what is this? Is this what Ruthie was talking about, that compassion stuff? Oh, what's so great about it? All I feel is sad. I feel like crying. I feel like the whole world is on my shoulders. What's so great about feeling like that, huh? Ruthie. I gotta see Ruthie. I gotta tell her what happened to me. I gotta hold her in my arms. My sweet little Ruthie. Good morning, Mr. Maitland.
Come in. Did you bring the check?
Yes, sir. I brought it.
All right, let's get it over with. Is it certified?
Yeah, it's a bank check, Mr. Maitland. It's good as cash.
Put it on the table.
Yes, sir. Is Ruthie up yet?
She's up, but she's not here.
Oh, where is she?
I sent her on an errand.
Oh, I'd really like to see her, Mr. Maitland. I guess what I really mean is I'd like her to see me, you know, and I'd like her to realize that I've changed.
Mm-hmm. You've changed, have you?
Yeah, she'll be able to tell, too, you know. It may take her a little while, but she's going to know.
I see. And then she'll say yes to your marriage proposal,
Well, I think she will, yeah. And I'll make her happy, Mr. Maitland. I swear I will. I'll do everything I can to make your daughter happy.
You're still a bum, Salvador. Maybe you're rich now, and maybe you've got a big smile on your face, but in my eyes, you're still a bum.
I know why you feel that way about me, Mr. Maitland. I know, but everything about me is different now. I swear that. And I want us to be friends.
You gave me $100,000, Salvador. Do you need my friendship, too?
Well, it's what I want more than the money.
Sorry, Salvador. I don't have any friendly feelings to give you. This is what I have for you.
Hey, Mr. Maitland, what are you doing with that shotgun, huh?
I kept it around here for robbers. The neighborhood is full of robbers. But now the biggest robber of all is right here in front of me.
Mr. Maitland, put the thing down, will you? Be careful.
You're not taking the most important thing in my life, Salvador.
Stop, Mr. Maitland, please. Have mercy. Please.
Sorry, Salvador. I don't have that anymore. No mercy. No compassion.
You have just heard the incredible rise and fall of Salvador Ross, a man who pulled himself up by his own bootstraps and who finally fell before the merciless blast of a loaded shotgun. All of which goes to prove that it isn't easy to strike the right bargains in life. Sometimes we make bargains with the devil without even realizing it. And sometimes we create our own devils, the way Salvador Ross did. I'll be back shortly.
Great taste in Dolores, Kellogg's has that wholesome taste to get you up and grinning.
This is Jerry Coffer for Kellogg's Special K. We've been having some fun in our television and radio commercials by using a ball and chain to symbolize the slight overweight problem common to so many of us. We point out that being a few pounds overweight is just a little more difficult for you. Climbing stairs, just walking around, even sitting down can feel, well, like you're wearing a ball and chain. In case you missed the message, it's this. If you really want to get rid of that extra weight, you really have to work at it by exercising and with sensible meals like the Special K breakfast. A 1-ounce bowl of Special K, America's favorite high-protein cereal, 4 ounces of skim milk, tomato juice, and coffee. Less than 240 calories. Nutritious and, by the way, delicious. So why not begin each day with a Special K breakfast and then keep up the good work? Special K can't help you lose weight all by itself, but it really is a good start.
Some research experts say you can't taste the difference between beers. Well, if they're right, then Anheuser-Busch wastes a barrel of time Beechwood aging Budweiser. Only they don't think so. Brewing beer right does make a difference. And they're betting a bundle that you can taste the difference in Bud. When it comes to brewing Budweiser, the Anheuser-Busch choice is to go all the way because they still care about quality. Look at it this way. If the Bud people have a choice between what some experts say and what beer drinkers say, well, you'd better believe they'll go with you beer drinkers every time. When you say Budweiser, you said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
What would you have given up if you were Salvador Ross? Which one of your blessings would you trade for someone else's? It's an interesting speculation, and one which makes most people realize that they'd rather not trade at all. And speaking of swaps, thank you for swapping that television program for this one. We trust that you've seen pictures in your own mind that no television screen could ever match. Our cast included Tony Roberts, Mandel Kramer, Evie Juster, Robert Dryden, Gil Mack, and Jack Grimes. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Contact, the 12-hour allergy capsule, Buick Motor Division, and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
There's a beautiful little red Fiat idling its 1600cc engine on the Ewing Buick showroom floor right this minute. Hear it? It's calling your name. It's saying, I'm sporty. I'm superbly engineered. I'm economical to operate. Don't keep your little Fiat waiting too long. Italians can get very impatient, you know. See the large selection of Fiats, Opals, and Buicks at Ewing Buick today on Cedar Springs at Pearl. KRLD, Dallas.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to our world of mystery and the macabre. How much do you know about rats? About as much as I did, I suppose, before I heard of the strange crimes at the Meriwether Research Institute. It all began with certain experiments on a strain of rat known in scientific circles as Rattus novicicus, and ended with death.
Gray.
What?
The rat. The rat, get out of that tent.
And
On run.
with a wing,
told the truth about Atticus being able to slip the latch on the cage.
If he did, what happens to us? Gray.
Don't think about it, Doris. Don't think about it.
Our mystery drama, The Rat, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by George Lothar and stars Michael Wager. Still there? Good. I admire your nerve. All right, then. Come along with me to the laboratory of Dr. Grayson Carter, behavioral scientist at the Meriwether Research Institute. As you see, in that cage there, which covers one wall of the laboratory, are about 150 rats. Big, too, aren't they? That handsome dark-haired man in the white coat is Dr. Carter. And as you can hear, he's dictating a report.
Report to Dr. Christopher Morton from Dr. Grayson Carter concerning experiment number 17 on Rattus norvegicus. As you know, my entire theory is based on my conviction that of the 2,000 rat species in the world, the Muridae rat, especially the brown rat of Norway, Rattus norvegicus, is the most intelligent. Although they originated in Asia Minor, they have spread throughout the world. As you know,
Oh, sorry, Gray, you're dictating.
Oh, it's okay, darling. Come on in.
I can't stay long. I'm going to the hospital to bring Wayne home.
Oh, so soon. Quick recovery, I'd say.
It wasn't really a bad attack this time.
Oh? Doris, he couldn't move. He was absolutely paralyzed with pain.
When his back goes out like that and the muscle spasms, he is helpless, yes, and sometimes it takes weeks, in fact, for him to recover, but sometimes only a few days.
Doris, you are going to go through this.
Tell him I want a divorce so I can marry you. Yes. But I'm sure he'll refuse.
I want you for my wife. And I want the world to know it. If Wayne refuses to give you a divorce...
Gray?
Oh, it's Attila again.
Attila?
That big fellow there, the one bigger than the rest.
Oh, good heavens, he is Gray. He's killing that other rat.
Attila! Stop! Here. There. That'll calm him down.
What is that stuff you threw into the cage?
Blood feed?
Blood feed?
Kind of rough animal feed mixed with blood.
Oh.
The rats love it. I use it as a reward. When a rat learns to do something, perform some little task or trick, I reward him with a pan of food.
Are they as intelligent as you thought?
No, I'm not sure intelligence is the word. Cunning. Yeah, that's it. Resourceful. Cunning and resourceful. At this point in my experiments, I'm inclined to think that a rat can figure out a way to do anything. Well, within reason, of course. If there's something to be gained by it.
I'm not sure I understand.
Well, for example, you see that billiard ball in the cage?
Yes.
Attila has learned, and so some of the others, but he's the smartest. He's learned to push that ball up that trough and then to maneuver it into that hole at the top. When it goes through the hole, it drops to the bottom of the tube and triggers the opening of that trapdoor. And what do you suppose is behind that trapdoor?
Don't tell me. They're feed.
You learn fast, too. Yeah. Let me see if I can teach you something you'll enjoy learning.
Oh, Gray. Gray, darling. You're a wonderful teacher.
I'm sorry to interfere with lovemaking. You look surprised, my dear.
I was coming to the hospital to pick you up. You knew that.
Wayne, let me make one thing clear.
Oh, don't bother, Gray. What's been going on between you and my wife is very clear.
Wayne...
You really think you've managed to cover up your little game of illicit love?
There is nothing illicit.
Oh, isn't there? You steal my wife just as you stole the Schuyler Award for research.
Stole the award? What are you talking about?
Oh, you don't know? Well, I suppose that's scarcely surprising.
Oh, now look, Wayne.
Now get your hands off. Oh.
Wayne.
My back. That's okay. Oh, just a sudden twinge, thanks to you, Gray.
I'm sorry if I caused you any pain. I just want to tell you that...
Oh, you'll tell me nothing. I'll tell you. You stole my wife. You stole the award. But there's something you're not going to steal because I've got the inside track. The directorship of this institute.
Wayne, I have no interest in becoming director of this institute.
Good. Because you won't get it. I will. I'm going to our apartment, Doris. I'll expect you there in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Or else.
What does he mean, or else?
Nothing. He's just upset.
He meant something. I want to know what. That bruise on your cheek a few weeks ago, you didn't get it from a fall.
No.
Oh, that's dirty.
Gray, please.
You're going to leave me. Divorce or no divorce.
We'll see, darling. We'll see. Wayne, we can't go on like this.
I'm not going on with anything. I'm entirely happy with things as they are. Or will be once I get rid of Dr. Grayson Carter.
Get rid of him?
Oh, I don't mean kill him. Morton has promised me I'll take his place as director once he retires. That'll be soon. As director of the Institute, my first action will be to fire Grayson Carter.
You can't do that.
Oh, I'll do more than that. I'll not only bounce him, but I'll so dirty his reputation it'll end his career.
How could you possibly dirty Gray's reputation?
Well, that's very simple, by spreading the word that he's a wife-stealer. But he turned a loving wife, my loving wife, into a cheap, lying... Don't you ever do that again, Doris, or you'll regret that. A lot worse than you did the last time.
You lay a hand on me.
I'll lay more than a hand on you, and you'd better keep that in mind. Now, there will be no divorce. You don't love me? I couldn't care less. But you're not going to love anyone else either, and that means beginning now you're to stop seeing Grayson Carter.
I will not stop seeing Gray.
Oh, I think you will. For his sake, if not yours. I've told you what I intend to do to him once I become director. But I could do even more than that.
I don't see how you could do that.
I don't intend to tell you. But there is one way you can find out. Just keep seeing him. Just keep letting him take you in his arms, fondling you, kissing you.
You're hurting me.
I could kill you and him along with you. I could... You filthy little fraud. Dr. Cheney here.
Chris Morton, Wayne.
Oh, yes, Chris.
I heard you were coming home from the hospital today, and I'm anxious to talk to you. Would it be convenient to come right over to my office?
Oh, it certainly would. I'll be there in 5 minutes.
See you then.
Well, it's come quicker than I thought. Morton wants to see me in his office, and right now. Unless I miss my guess, the next time you see me, I'll be the director of Meriwether Institute. And your love will be on his way down the drain.
Tom? Oh, good to see you, Wayne. Come in, come in.
Thank you, Chris.
Sit down, sit down. How are you feeling?
Oh, couldn't be better.
Back okay?
Oh, yes. A few days in traction always does the trick.
Not always. There have been times when it took 2, sometimes 3 weeks.
No, never that long.
Well, now, what I wanted to see you about.
I think I know.
If anyone deserves promotion, you do. And we have talked about your becoming director.
As I made clear to you, Chris, I'm your man.
Yes, you are. Or to put it more accurately, you were.
Were?
I'm as sorry as I can be, but the board turned you down.
Well, how could they? When you say you recommended, I was your first choice.
That's true.
Well, nobody carries more weight than you.
The board does, I'm afraid. I'm also afraid that your record was against you.
My back problem?
Yes.
And what the hell has my back problem got to do with my ability as director?
Not your ability, but your disability, you might say.
To kick me aside just because I've got a trick back?
There was another reason.
What other reason?
Well, they felt, and really, Wayne, I've got to go along with this. They felt it would be useful to the Institute, helpful in a political and social way, fundraising and all that, to have a man in the director's chair with as much prestige as possible.
Prestige? I've got any number of doctorates, books I've written, discoveries.
True, very true. But you don't have the Schuyler Award for research. Grayson Carter does. What is it, Wayne? Wayne, you've gone as white as a sheet. Are you ill?
Grayson Carter. They chose Grayson Carter?
Yes.
And you agreed?
It wouldn't have served any purpose to disagree.
But you agreed. After assuring me that I'd replace you, after promising me the job.
Oh, now, I don't remember promising.
You did. Right here in this office you promised me.
Wayne, my dear fellow.
You'll regret this. I promise you'll regret it. And I'll keep my promise. You wait and see. Wait and see.
Wayne. Morton?
Grayson Carter, Chris.
Oh, yes, Gray.
I didn't wake you up or something tonight.
Oh, no, gracious man, it's only 9 o'clock. But I have been lying here in my bedroom with the lights off. I've got a splitting headache.
Rough day?
Oh, I broke the news to Wayne this afternoon. He took it badly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, he'll get over it. What can I do for you, Gray?
Well, I was wondering if you'd listened to that last report of mine on rodent.
No, but I was just about to, actually. I got the tape recorder right here on my bedside table and was just about to turn it off.
Oh, fine. I'm anxious to get your reaction. Could you call me when you finish?
Of course. How long is the tape?
20 minutes, thereabouts.
I'll call you back, Gray.
Report to Dr. Christopher Morton from Dr. Grayson Carter on experiment number 17 for Rachis norvegicus. Chris, as you know, my entire theory is based on my conviction that the two-served rat
What in the world is that?
especially the brown
Something in the room. Better turn on the light.
is the most intelligent.
Good Lord.
Originated
It's a rat. The biggest I've ever... No!
Even as Dr. Christopher Morton listens to Dr. Grayson Carter's report on his experiment with rats, Attila, largest and most cunning of all, flings himself at Morton's throat. Trouble lies ahead, and stark terror. I'll be back shortly with Act 2. You suppose it was Dr. Wayne Cheney who put Attila the rat in Dr. Morton's bedroom? Almost bet on it myself. He certainly had the motive. His insane jealousy of Dr. Grayson Carter, plus Carter being appointed director of the Meriwether Institute instead of himself. But how could he have transported the rat to Dr. Morton's bedroom? Seems to be a question that bothers Lieutenant Enright of the police, too.
Sit down, gentlemen. And thank you for coming here to headquarters. I'd have come to the Institute, but frankly, I'm up to my ears in emergency police work.
I'm happy to cooperate, Lieutenant.
Of course. I asked both of you here because the two of you were closer to Dr. Morton than anyone else. But I especially asked you, Dr. Carter, because, well, it was one of your rats that killed Dr. Morton.
A tragedy I don't expect to get over, Lieutenant.
Mm-hmm. Now, according to a report here made out by Sergeant James of Homicide, when he and his squad arrived at the Institute last night, you had apparently captured the rat and returned it to its cage. Is that so?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, there isn't much to tell. Wait. Dr. Cheney heard Dr. Morton's screams and...
Now, hold it a second. How did you hear the screams, Dr. Cheney? Were you in Dr. Morton's house?
No. I happened to be passing it on my way to the Institute library. I want to tell you, or maybe you know, Morton lived alone except for a housekeeper, and she was out for the evening.
Mm-hmm.
I found that out later, of course. Well, anyhow, I was passing the house, heard the screams, rushed in, and up to his bedroom.
Go on, please.
And it's also horrible. The rat, that monster of a rat, was on him, tearing at his throat. I can't go on, I'm sorry.
What did you do?
Well, the only thing I could do was phone me. I rushed over, of course, and captured Attila.
How did you manage to do that?
I've been working with these rats for months now, studying their behavioral patterns, their emotional reactions, and so on. My experiments have included rewards for certain actions I've taught them to perform.
Actions? You mean tricks?
Well, yes, you could call them tricks, I guess, but they're really experiments in rodentia IQ, the intelligence quotient of rats.
Pretty smart, I understand, rats.
I'm discovering they're even smarter than I thought.
Have you any idea how this Attila got into Dr. Morton's bedroom? Well, do you?
Yes. He was put there. He couldn't have gotten there any other way.
Mind explaining?
My laboratory is in the Institute building, and the building is across the square from Dr. Morton's house. Someone must have opened the big rat cage, lured Attila into a portable cage, carried him to Dr. Morton's house, and released him in Morton's bedroom.
For the purpose of killing Dr. Morton?
Yes.
Have you any idea as to who wanted to kill Dr. Morton?
Well, yes, I do.
Who?
I can't tell you that. It's only a suspicion I have, and
he suspects me. Oh, you needn't look so surprised. Morton promised me the directorship of the Institute and broke his promise by giving it to you. So who'd have a better motive than me? The whole Institute knows you seduced my wife, stole her affection.
Wait.
We're making love to her while...
You hold it, both of you. I'm sorry. If I'd known things were like this between you, I'd have interviewed you separately. You've told me all you can at this point. Thank you for coming. And Dr. Carter?
Yes?
I'd take special security measures with those rats of yours from now on.
Dr. Carter. Oh, hello, Mr. Berkowitz. Okay. Aaron, then. Guess I'm not used to calling board chairmen by their first names. Yes? Well, I hate to wash up the experiment when it's only a few weeks short of completion. Well, yes, I know it's been a month since Dr. Morton's death, but... Well, you know, I have spent as much time as possible doing my job as director. Come in, Doris. Aaron, I couldn't agree more. Well, look, let me think about it, will you? I'll get back to you later today, right? Dar, sweetheart.
Gray, dear.
That was Aaron Berkowitz, chairman of the board of trustees. The board feels I'm not giving enough time to my duties as director.
You're knocking yourself out. And you look tired and worried.
Worried? No.
Yes, you are, I can tell. What is it?
Well, to be honest, there's nothing going on here in the lab. It puzzles me. I don't understand it.
What?
I think someone's getting in here at night and tampering with the rats.
Tampering?
Doing something. I don't know. The rats seem to be keyed up on edge. especially Attila.
Any rats give me the shakes, but Attila... How could anyone except you get in here? You had that special lock put on the door after Dr. Morton's death.
I know, but... Someone could have a key made, I suppose.
But why? Who would want to come in here? Secretly, I mean. For what reason?
Wayne?
Gray. I know you think he killed Dr. Morton.
I am sure he did, Doris. Trouble is, I can't prove it. I can't prove he's the one who's prowling around in here when I'm gone either. But I'm pretty sure it is him.
Oh, Gray, why don't you give up this whole thing? This whole experiment, these rats. Suppose they got out of that cage while you were here. 150.
Oh, hey, darling, cool it. 150 rats aren't getting out of any cage. Not while I'm here.
One of them did. Attila did.
He did not get out. He was taken out. Look, here, let me show you why it's impossible.
Gray, please,
I want you to stop worrying. Now, see this bolt?
Yes.
Well, it's on the outside of the cage. The only way to open this door is for someone to slide the bolt back, like so.
Well, but couldn't a rat... You say they're so clever.
A rat reach through the bars and slide the bolt. Well, I guess so.
Well?
But he'd have to be taught to do it, just the way I've taught them to do other things. Honey, I am not teaching a rat how to slide the bolt back.
Well, I'll be glad when this whole experiment is over and done with and you're safe behind your desk in the director's office.
Oh, stop worrying, Doris. About the rats, anyway. We've got other things to worry about. Did you ask Wayne for a divorce again?
Yes. He just laughed at me.
I guess I'm just going to have this out with him.
But there's nothing you can do. He's my husband.
He's got to give you a divorce.
He won't. No, he won't.
Is he at home now?
Yes, at least he was when I left. Why?
Come on. We'll see him together.
Wait a minute.
I am not waiting another second. This thing has dragged on long enough. Drop dead, Gray. Oh, Wayne, be reasonable.
Reasonable? You asked me to be reasonable?
Wayne, I don't love you anymore. I love Gray, so what's the use of our being...
No use at all. I'd be happy to be rid of you. Happy to give you a divorce, except that would make you happy. If there's one thing in this world, I'll do everything to prevent it, your happiness.
What kind of a man are you?
I detest you. I say it calmly because I have to. My doctor's made it very clear to me that extreme emotion, especially anger, can bring on another back seizure.
And what about hate?
Oh, I find hating you decidedly comforting, my dear. It gives me greater pleasure than you'll ever know. In fact, I hate you so much... Well, yes, why not? I might even give you a divorce.
Oh, don't play games.
I'm not playing games. I might just give Doris her freedom.
All right. Why?
Why? Because I know what her life with you will be like. I know you for what you are, Gray. A self-centered character who has only one interest in life, himself. And once she married you, once you got what you wanted, she'd find out what you're really like. No better than those rats of yours.
I ignore your insults for what they are. To me, nothing. Are you serious about giving Doris her freedom?
I'll think about it. Now, if you don't mind, I'll ask you to leave.
I'll see you to the door. Gray, can he possibly mean it?
I don't trust him. One way of making us miserable would be to raise our hopes and then dash them to the ground. Don't get your hopes too high. Goodbye, dear.
How can you bear to leave him out of your sight?
Wayne, did you mean it? Will you give me a divorce?
I said I'd think about it, didn't I?
But did you mean it?
Did I mean it? Why, yes, I meant it. It is possible that were I to give you your freedom to marry him, you'd come to loathe each other in very little time.
I'd take my chances.
Of course, because you're in love. So madly in love. But now another thought strikes me. And it's a thought I don't relish at all.
What thought? Wayne, what thought?
The thought that you might be right and I wrong. That if you married Gray, you might spend the rest of your life deliriously happy. I couldn't have that. Could I?
Wayne, are you all right? Wayne.
I'm thinking. You asked me if I would think it over, and that's what I'm doing, thinking it over.
Oh.
I'm not only thinking it over, I've come to a decision.
And what is your decision?
No.
What do you want?
Your death.
My
death.
Wayne, what are you saying?
You didn't see Dr. Morton when that rat Attila was finished with him.
Oh, no.
You didn't see the throat.
Stop it.
And all done by one rat. Think what 2 rats could do. Or 10. Or 150.
What are you saying? Oh. You're the one. You've been in Gray's lab at night.
Yes. Yes, of course.
What were you doing there?
Well, what do you do with rats? If the celebrated behavioral scientist, Dr. Grayson Carter, is to be taken seriously, you teach them tricks. I have been teaching them tricks. Correction. I have been teaching one of them a trick.
What kind of trick?
Oh, I hate to admit this, but Gray is absolutely right. Rats are clever. One of them is, anyhow.
What?
The one I lured into a portable cage with the special feed and transported to the bedroom of our late Dr. Morton.
You...
Well, who else? You know it. Gray knows it. I'm quite sure that even Lieutenant Enraged knows it. But none of you can prove it.
Oh. What are you going to do?
Kill you.
What?
Or rather, they are.
They...
The rats.
Clearly, the warped and twisted brain of Dr. Wayne Cheney has devised a horrible death for his estranged wife, Doris. In a few moments, we'll learn how he plans to use those rats. I'll be back shortly with Act 3. You're still with me? Good. Well, now, I'd say that Dr. Wayne Cheney has come unhinged, wouldn't you? No man in his right mind would plan to murder his wife by using rats. Excuse me, one rat. Attila. Now, just how he intends to use Attila, I don't know. You? Well, let's find out together.
Midnight, Doris. The time has come. More properly, your time has come.
Wayne, please, come to your senses.
Move.
No.
I have ways of making you, you know that.
All too well. You can twist my arm, bend my fingers, use any of those sadistic grips you have. I will... Oh.
Can't you mind, my darling?
Oh.
Does it?
Oh, please. Yes, please, stop.
That's better. There's a coil of rope in the closet. Get it.
Yes.
Very good. Bring it along. I warn you, if you try anything on your way to the laboratory, I'll make you wish for death. realize I have a key to this new lock? Well, I won't keep it a secret from you, Doris. Husbands and wives should have no secrets from each other. I forgot. You don't go along with that. You believe in keeping secrets from your husband. Secrets of illicit love.
Wayne, you're wrong. You're so wrong.
You deny the two of you were meeting secretly?
Not secretly.
Making love secretly?
No.
Did you enjoy being crushed in his arms?
Stop it. It was nothing like that. You've let your imagination invent things that never happened. What are you doing?
Oh, just tying you up.
No.
Why do you think you brought the rope?
Wait. What are you going to do?
I am going to do nothing. The rats will do it all. Now hold still. I want to be sure your wrists are securely tied behind your back. Oh, I almost forgot. I promised to tell you how I got a key to the lock.
I don't care how you managed to.
Oh, but you should. Without a key, I never could have done the remarkable thing. Yes, the very remarkable thing I've done. All right, now to tie your feet together at the ankles. You see, all I did was simple. All I did was call in a locksmith the day Gray went to a board of trustees meeting. I merely said I'd lost a key and needed another. Simple as that. Oh, sorry. But I must bind you tightly. There we go. That should hold you.
Wait.
Now, we'll just place you on the floor.
Oh, no, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, my dear, if the floor is cold. But you won't be chilly long. Not very long, anyhow.
Wait. Listen to me. I beg you, please.
What the hell's going on in here?
Gray! Help me, Gray!
Doris! What are you doing here at this hour? Checking the lab at odd hours to catch whoever's been prowling around here? David, what do I... Are you sorry for me? Why, you... Now, you try to get up, Gray, and I'll brain you with this chair. You... I hope not.
You killed him.
I don't want to be done out of the pleasure. No. He's not. He's breathing. Got to get him tied up, too, before he comes around.
You're going to kill us both.
Oh, hardly an opportunity to be missed, my darling. Maybe there is some justice.
Oh.
There now. His wrists tied behind his back. Now for his ankles. I better hurry. He's coming, too. Now you move, and I'll belt you again. What? There we go. Neatly tied up, the two of you. Now, isn't this a pretty sight? The lover and the unfaithful wife trapped.
Horace, he's out of his mind. He brought me here to kill me. He intends to have the rats killed.
You are crazy. There's no sense trying to free yourself. You're tied securely, and so is my unfaithful wife. You wish to be parted from me, my dear? You wish to dissolve our union so you could be united with your lover? You shall be united. In death. Beginning now. Something I learned from you, Doctor. Your experiments gave me the weapons with which to kill you both. You claimed that rats are animals of superior intelligence, and to prove it, and you did prove it, you experimented with these monsters in the cage for months, true? Go on. Well, you proved that rats do think. You proved that a rat can be taught, within reason, to figure out a problem for himself, if it resulted in a reward. I know all that. Go on. Oh? Are you in a hurry to die? I'm sorry, that doesn't fit into my plan. Oh, no. I'm going to make you suffer. You're going to be torn apart by rats. Those rats. All of them.
Gray. Gray.
Wayne, you seem to have forgotten something, Wayne. Oh, have I? Let those rats out of the cage, and they'll attack you, too. Now, why didn't I think of that? Wouldn't I have said to myself, Wayne, the moment you slip the bolt on that door and the rats come pouring out, they'll attack you too. But I did think of it. And would you believe it? I solved the problem. No. Give credit where credit is due. You solved it, Ray. You proved what remarkable things a rat can do if spurred to do them for a reward. Clever. Very clever. Rats. Especially your friends. And mine. Attila. You've been breaking into the lab secretly and conduct an experiment of my own. And following your methods, Gray, I succeeded in teaching Attila to perform a little trick. On command. What little trick? I taught him to slide back the bolt and open the door of the cage. Easy, darling. You're not making sense, Wayne. You don't believe Attila can do it? He's smart enough to be taught to do it, but you couldn't have taught him because once he'd learned he could open the cage anytime he wanted to. No. You're forgetting your own theory. A rat performs only for a reward. Always there must be that reward. Attila will slide the bolt back only after it has been smeared with feed. And I give him the command. Shall I demonstrate?
Wait, don't do this. Listen, let us go. I promise you. Wait, I promise you.
Promise what?
Anything. Anything you want. Anything. Wait.
I want your death. And his. And I want it to be so terrifying that you'll die 1,000 deaths before the final one. A blood feed.
Wayne, let Doris go. Kill me, but let her go.
First, I smear this feed on the bolt of the door. You see, Gray? Your friend Attila knows what it's all about. You see how he runs back and forth, pawing at the door? But he won't touch that bolt. Oh, no, not till I give the command.
Ray, I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, may I draw your attention to that large sack of feed there on the shelf? You know what I'm going to do with that? Do you? I'm going to get that wagon and pour the feed it contains. Over you. Over both of you. The sack's heavy. You may be interested to know that once I give the command to open the bolt, it takes Attila about 5 minutes to get it open, and then... And that my back. My back.
Great. He's had one of his seizures. He's brought on the food.
Through the sack. The feed is all over him.
I can't move. I'm paralyzed. I can't move.
Oh, thank the Lord. He didn't give Attila the command.
He did. The food did.
What? I didn't give any command.
Why is it Attila pawing at the bolt? Why is he trying to slide it back?
No.
I didn't give a command. I couldn't have.
Was the command, Wayne? What was it? Something as simple as open the bolt?
You fool! You fool! You said it! You said it!
Once I give the command to open the bolt, you said it'll take Attila about 5 minutes to get it open. Oh, Lord. Oh. I did say it. I did. Here. Help me. Oh, help me. Help me.
And we can't even help ourselves.
Sorry, can you roll over on your side?
On my side.
I'll try to maneuver it back. Maybe I can move my fingers enough to open them. Not your wrist.
Can you do it?
That's why we've got to.
The rats, listen to them.
Great.
They know what's happening. They'll come for me. I'm covered with feed. They'll tear me to bits.
Doris, if your hand still was, I was not.
He's sliding that bubble. And the rats, they're all at the front of the gate near the door. They can't wait to get out. To get out.
Another miss. Doris, try to move your hand. Can you?
No!
Hold still then.
Great! You! It's too late. It's too late. The cage is over.
And that's it, Lieutenant. That's about all there is to tell.
I'm amazed you got out at all.
Rats, every one of them went for the feed Wayne was covered with. And, of course, Wayne.
If only we could have done something to save him.
What could you have done? If you'd wasted any time once you got untied, you'd never made it out of there alive.
That is for sure.
Well, it's over now. I'm not a vengeful man, but I must say your husband got what he deserved. He used a rat to murder Dr. Morton and was murdered himself in the same way. Oh, one thing, Dr. Carter.
Yes?
I hope you're finished with your experiments.
I am. No time for experiments now. I'm going to be much too busy as director of the Institute and...
And what?
And as your husband, sweetheart.
And surely they deserved happiness, those two. The fates had thrown them a pretty horrible and terrifying curve. The kind few of us are ever called on to face. At least I hope we aren't. But you never know, do you? I'll be back shortly. You'll be glad to know that Doris and Gray are happily married now, and the parents of twins. Doris is kept very busy being a mother, and Gray has his hands full as director of the Institute. He keeps hoping he'll find time one of these days to continue with some research. But rest assured, it won't be with rats. Our cast included Michael Wager, Joan Loring, Ralph Bell, and Bob Caliban. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Change the name of the spaghetti store.
But the spaghetti store serves 6 different kinds of spaghetti dinners from $2.10 to $2.85.
They should change the name to the spaghetti and ravioli and lasagna and steak and hamburger and sausage and sandwich store.
They have all those things?
And more.
But that name would be a little hard to remember, don't you think?
The name might be hard to remember, but the food unforgettable.
So when you come in, bring your appetite. There's one thing you know for sure. Great spaghetti we've got, and it don't cost a lot. At the spaghetti store.
2731 West Northwest Highway. Also Arlington and Fort Worth.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents...
men, welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the world of terrifying imagination. Once upon a time, there was a poor and common man named Matthew Mall, who owned a couple of acres that were desired by a rich and titled man named Colonel Pinchian, who wished to build a house on the property. Since the colonel could not acquire the land by lawful means, he took others. The year was 1650, and he connived to have Matthew Mall declared a wizard, condemned to die on the scaffold, which is where our story begins.
Quiet! You have not heard the last of Matthew Mall. You or your children, or your children's children. In particular, you, Colonel Pynchon, and all the family who follows you. Look at him, everyone, as a dying man makes a promise. Colonel Pynchon, God will give you and yours blood to drink.
This is the story of my long revenge, which began with the moment my adversary first entered his new-built house, with his portrait locked into the paneling above his desk chair. For there, the first of the Pynchons, the Colonel Pynchon who sent me to my death, was found drowned in his own blood. The doctors called it apoplexy, but we know better. Death brought him blood to drink, the first of much, for his house was doomed.
Our mystery drama, The House of the Seven Gables, was especially adapted from the Nathaniel Hawthorne classic for the Mystery Theater by Ian Martin and stars Norman Rose. It is sponsored in part by Sign-Off, the Sinus Medicines, and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Buick introduces a new concept for you to consider in light of all the concern about miles per gallon. Range. Range is what you get when you multiply the mileage your car gets per gallon by the number of gallons your car's gas tank holds. Range is one of the things that help make Buick Apollo such a special small car. It comes from coupling the Apollo's economical 6-cylinder engine with a standard 21-gallon gas tank. It holds a lot, but it doesn't use a lot. Look into the Apollo. It's the Buick of small cars.
Hello, this is Goldilocks. It seems like only yesterday that I was a little girl tasting porridge. You know, this one's too hot. This one's too cold. And now I conduct taste tests on diet drinks. And there's one I must tell you about. Sugar-free Diet 7-Up. It has a fresh, natural, delicious taste. It drives my taste-o-meter crazy. Sugar-free Diet 7-Up. This one's just right.
George Washington?
Yes.
What is your favorite American food?
La Choy Oriental Vegetables.
La Choy?
The father of our Oriental vegetables.
Oriental vegetables?
Bean sprouts, water chestnuts, chop suey vegetables, delicious.
What do you do with
You toss them.
Across the Potomac?
In a salad.
Oh, yes.
Or mix La Choy Oriental vegetables right in with ground beef when you make burgers. That's my favorite. A meal fit for a king. Oh, I didn't mean a king. I meant what do you call it? What I am. You know, not a prime minister. Not a...
La Choy makes Chinese food. Swing American.
You stand alone and wait. She's 20 minutes late. She'll find a smile will go a long, long way.
Smiles go a long, long way with Kodak's Pocket Smile Saver Kit. You get a Pocket Instamatic camera, color film, Magic Cube, extender, and more for less than $30. All at your photo dealers for a limited time only.
A smile stays lit with our Smile Saver Kit. You'll see a smile will go a long, long way.
From Kodak.
Halfway down a by street in one of our New England towns stands a rusty wooden house with 7 acutely peaked gables facing towards various points of the compass and a huge clustered chimney in the midst.
So begins the second novel written by Nathaniel Hawthorne. And to tell you the rest of it, here is the tortured, uneasy spirit of the wizard Matthew Mall, who died before his time and left a curse that endured for over 2 centuries.
38 years in my grave, and yet I rise from it as casually as an ordinary man from his bed. I am seen as easily at noon as I am by the witching hour. I am an extraordinarily pestilent ghost, and I have left an estate which will mangle and torture and destroy at last the whole clan of Pinchins. Shall we take a case in point?
Yes? Well, what is it?
You sent for me, Mr. Pynchon. The name is Matthew Mall, son of him who built this house for your grandfather, grandson of the rightful proprietor of your soil.
Oh, the ancient dispute. That matter has been settled by competent legal authorities.
In favor of the family Pynchon?
Self-evidently. I am in residence and you are not.
Then stay here and rot.
A moment, Mr. Mall. Will you attend me in the living room?
At your request. To what purpose?
Well, perhaps to our mutual interest. There's a legend that my family, that, to be precise, the same Colonel Pynchon who looks down on us from above the living room fireplace here, had a deed to certain vast real estate holdings from an Indian grant. Holdings of incalculable value.
I've heard the story.
Are you also aware that in the settlement of the estate, no deed was found to lay claim to them?
Oh, yes.
But his claim was on the verge of settlement when my grandfather died suddenly.
In answer to my grandfather's curse.
Of apoplexy.
Which is, in non-medical terms, not far from literally drinking one's own blood.
I did not bid you here to renew old quarrels, simply to make you a proposition.
Very well, I'm listening.
There's a rumor that whatever quarrel lay between our ancestors, yours was the one made the best bargain in the long run.
By being hanged?
However he died, he was only a step or two ahead of the colonel. For while the colonel won out in buying and owning the land Seven Gables stands on, he lost a kingdom when the deed to half the state of Massachusetts was lost. Or hidden.
Mr. Pynchon, what is your proposition?
Your father was the architect of this house. He might have secreted the paper somewhere or built some hidden chamber for them, which my ancestor, Colonel Pynchon, died too suddenly to reveal. I would be willing to pay well for information leading to them.
I cannot believe the colonel would have concealed something that was not his to hide. But there might be a chance for you to recover those papers.
How?
I'll make a contract with you. This house and the property. For the papers, if I can locate them.
No, damn me, if I'll permit it. Did you say something, sir?
No.
What? Well, I could have sworn I heard a voice. Well, I'll meet your bargain if you can find the Indian grant.
I'll need some help. I don't know where the papers are, or if they exist. I do know that to locate them, I need the help of a medium.
I don't understand.
You have a young daughter named Alice. Bring her here. From outside the oriel window, hoard with frost against the roaring fire within, I watched my grandson toy with this Pynchon, whose only desire was to flee the dread house and live abroad. And by virtue of my right as a man taken before his time, I kept invading Matthew's mind and making it mine as far as I desired.
My daughter, Alice,
May I present Mr. Matthew Mole?
My pleasure, Mr. Mole.
Will you be seated?
Father?
Do as he asks.
Very well.
Now, I ask you to fix your eyes on mine. From the moment that gentle girl raised her eyes, she was ours, mine. It was enough, perhaps, that already the Moles had the reputation that they could enter people's dreams and that no grave could hold them. By now, there was a further belief that they could mesmerize the unwary. There is your daughter, Mr. Pynchon. Speak to her.
Alice! Alice, answer me!
Oh, softly, softly, Mr. Pynchon. Is it my crime you have sold your daughter for the hope of getting back a sheet of yellow parchment?
What would you do with her?
Why, only as you asked. Use her as a medium to try to make you rich.
How?
You'll see. Unless you wish to call our barter deal off.
No. But proceed in God's name.
Very well. Listen to me, Alice Pynchon. Listen with your mind. Cast off your body. Think. Think back away through the years, but cling to me. Let him who holds the secret of the Indian land deeds come forth peaceably and without delay. Call him.
I know not who he is.
Then ask.
Colonel Pynchon? Great-grandfather? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Call on my grandfather, whom your great-grandfather hanged.
Matthew Mole? Matthew Mole? Are you there? Speak.
I hear you in the grave, Miss Pynchon. Oh, what rare sport to watch your father Gervais shivering in mortal dread, and you, my fine lady, no more responsible for your actions than a puppet. And my grandson, speaking words and using powers only I could confer on him. But the secret? The secret I am not yet ready to divulge.
Enough! Would you kill the child? Bring her to.
Without your answer?
Have you not found it?
Only this. Your grandfather's secret is one he must choke with until it is of no further value. So, keep a house of Seven Gables.
Wake my daughter from her trance.
As far as I can.
What mean you?
Well, she will walk and live and breathe. But
what, man?
I meant no harm. I meant only to humble you and yours. I did not mean to steal her soul, but I'm afraid that is lost. The years rolled by, and generation by generation, I took my toll on the Pynchon brood. The once proud family dwindled and thinned out. I have had little need to move my rusty bones or decaying flesh, since they have wrought their own destruction, save till now. But in this century, I must arise again.
Cousin Hepzibah.
Geoffrey Pynchon, what brings you to Seven Gables?
Why, I take it since you have opened a 1-cent store, it is open to any member of the public?
Not to you. Never to you. Judge.
Judge not, that ye shall be judged. Well, surely after all these years, and in respect of what I've just arranged for Clifford...
You are not welcome in this house.
Not even in a public shop, Hepzibah Pynchon.
The shop is a necessity, now more than ever.
Because of Clifford's return? Oh, surely you know if you're in need you can call on me. or bring your brother and yourself to live on my estate.
Oh, you know I will take no charity from you, now or ever. How dare you offer it after what you've done to Clifford? Yes, you hate him. For what reason, I know not, but hate him you do.
You do me wrong, sweet cousin. But I am a forbearing man. I bear what crosses God sends me to bear. I will not trouble you more now, but wait for Clifford's return.
4 Pynchons are left. Nearsighted, angular, tall Hepzibah in her rusty black. The smiling, fat, oily Judge Jaffrey Pynchon, who so closely resembles the portrait of that black-hearted colonel who hangs in a massive gold frame in the living room, and who hanged me by the living neck. 2 yet. We are still to meet.
Bless my soul, the omnibus. And stopping before my shop door. It can't be Clifford yet. No. Then who is it?
Cousin Hepzibah. Cousin Hepzibah. Oh, don't you know me?
Cousin? Oh, no Pynchon ever looked as lovely as you, child.
Cousin Hepzibah, you flatter me. But you can't deny it. I am your country cousin. And my mother sends you her love and regards and hopes my visit to you will not put you out.
Your visit? You intend to stay?
Didn't you get my mother's letter?
No.
I don't understand about the letter.
Oh, it doesn't matter now. You're here. But, child, I don't see how you can stay.
Oh, I don't expect to be a guest. I mean to earn my bread. I can find plenty to do, cousin. The garden and flowers and the chickens will keep me out in the open air, and I can't help in the shop. Please let me stay.
Well, you can stay at least the night. But in any case, the decision whether or not you remain at the house of Seven Gables is not up to me. Tomorrow, its master returns home. My brother Clifford, who is coming home at last.
I think I remember my mother and father mentioning him, but as though he were... Where has he been?
In prison.
Prison? Why?
For the murder of our uncle, the judge's father, Jaffrey Pynchon.
One other young and unsuspecting girl, Alice Pynchon, came to grief under the shadowed gables of this brooding old house. Is another to share the same fate? We'll find out when I return shortly with Act 2.
And now another story of the ball and chain, as Kellogg's Special K presents Veronica and Jack.
Oh, Jeffrey, isn't this romantic? Out in a quiet lake at night with you rowing the boat.
Yes, Veronica, it's really neat.
Jeffrey, what was that?
Frogs.
Frogs that go bonk?
They're pretty weird frogs.
Oh, Jeffrey, you're such a card. You have a ball and chain, like the ones they use in those Special K commercials.
Yes, Veronica. It symbolizes my few pounds of extra weight, but I'm going to get rid of it.
How?
By exercising. You know, like rowing this boat and eating smart at every meal, starting with a Special K breakfast.
You mean a 1-ounce bowl of high-protein Special K, 4 ounces of skim milk, orange juice, and coffee?
Precisely. It's less than 240 calories, and it tastes delicious. It'll help me get rid of this ball and chain.
I'll help too, Jeff. After all, we're all in the same boat.
You have a ball and chain, too.
Your happy ending could begin with the Special K breakfast from Kellogg's.
The 74 Indy 500 is now history, and to no one's surprise, the winner was equipped with custom Monroe Racing shock absorbers. Naturally, because every single car in the race had custom Monroe Racing shocks. That makes Monroe's win record 21 of the last 22 Indy 500s. That's quite a performance, the kind you'd expect from Monroe. We're the #1 maker of replacement shock absorbers for your car, and we're the #1 choice on the track. At Monroe, we can't lose, and neither can you.
Just when you need it more than ever, you can find it more places than ever. That's Quaker State Motor Oil. Why do you need it more? Because if you're using your car less, that engine just isn't getting the exercise it needs. But Quaker State's quality protection is tailor-made to handle deposits that build up in an underworked engine. Now that you need it more, it's available more places. Nice to know.
Quaker State your car to keep it running young.
This is not my story, so let me quote from the man who first told it. The mysterious Clifford is about to return, and here is how he is foreshadowed in conversation between Miss Hepzibah Pynchon and the newly arrived Phoebe.
31 years ago, my uncle, master of this house, was found beneath the portrait of our ancestor, Colonel Pynchon. Death was accountable, the authorities decided, to a blow on the head. Since the desk in his private papers had been rifled, it was suspected that it was robbery and accidental murder committed to avoid discovery.
By Cousin Clifford?
Oh, I shall never believe that. Oh, you will see for yourself when he returns how gentle, sweet, unworldly. Oh, Clifford could never have been guilty.
I'm sure from that kindly face you showed me in the miniature he was wrongly judged.
No question of that. Just as I am sure that Cousin Jaffrey, why I cannot understand, was the one most instrumental in sending him there.
How could that be?
It was he who discovered Clifford by the rifle desk, our uncle lying on the...
Oh, hush. Dear Cousin Hepzibah, think of the present and not on the past. Soon Cousin Clifford will be home again. But surely it grows very late if he is coming today.
Oh, well, you'd best off to bed. Perhaps I should greet him alone. Oh, dear, how shall I manage?
May I help, Cousin Hepzibah?
Oh, I'm old thumbs when it comes to cookery. You see, I've lost whatever art I had all these years alone. And I wanted Clifford's first breakfast to be so tasty.
You have a fire going bright enough to chase the morning dusk. Since the oven is hot, would you like me to bake an Indian cake?
Oh, it was Clifford's favorite all those years ago.
Well, then bake it I shall. What else can I do?
Oh, the coffee. Real mocha, if you would grind it.
We'll make a breakfast fit for a king.
A tired, sad king, worn out by exile.
Is he not well?
You shall see for yourself soon enough, dear Phoebe. Oh, hush, he's coming. Let him see you first, Phoebe. He likes bright faces, and mine is old, set in a scowl. Clifford, dear, let me help you.
The weakness is locked inside Hepzibah. Nothing you or anyone can help. But we are not alone.
No, he is Phoebe. Phoebe, Arthur's only child. You remember, I told you about her last night.
Phoebe Pynchon. Phoebe. Arthur's child. Yes, I forget. You are welcome.
Thank you, Cousin Clifford.
Oh, come sit here. Take this chair.
Is this you, Hepzibah? How changed. How changed. And are you angry with me?
Oh, why should I be angry?
And why do you bend your brows so?
Oh, Clifford, there is nothing but love here. If I scowl, it is only habit that has gone before.
Cousin Hepzibah is only worried and concerned that you should be happy.
Then why do we keep that odious picture on the wall? Why can't we... What is that sound?
Why, that is... Phoebe, will you answer it?
Of course.
That is the tinkle of the shop bell.
Shop bell?
Yes, sir.
Then, has Miss Hepzibah's shop opened under such favorable circumstances that she needs an assistant as attractive as you?
I'm a cousin of hers, on a visit from the country.
Well, in that case, I suspect you are a kinsman of mine. Let's see, oh, yes, little Phoebe Pinson. I am your kinsman, Judge Pinson, my little niece. Oh, surely I must pay you welcome. Oh, you resist me.
I had not meant to.
Oh, quite right, quite right. A young girl, especially a very pretty one, cannot but be chary of her lips.
I did not mean to be unkind.
Oh, I accept that. But are you afraid of something?
Nothing I know of.
I'll just step in and...
What do you want, Geoffrey?
Why, simply a short visit with my...
No. He cannot see visitors.
I warn you to take care. Clifford is on the brink of a blacker fate than yet possessed him. I need to see him.
No, Hepzibah. Don't let him in. Beg him on your knees if you must. Ask him to have mercy. Mercy.
You heard.
I heard. But must I... You will not let me see him.
I want to protect him.
As you will. But you do me great wrong, cousin. I only wish to help him. I will find some other way.
He seemed kind. Is his offer of help so wicked?
Phoebe, he has a heart of iron. Oh, let me go back to rejoin my poor brother at breakfast. Of all of us, he's the one who most needs protection now.
Don't do it, lady.
What?
Drink from that. Or even wash your face.
I was only looking at my reflection in it. May I ask who you are, sir?
Oh, forgive me. Miss Pinson has not mentioned me.
Mr. Holgrave, the boarder.
The same, at your service. And you must be Miss Phoebe. Which gable is yours?
Oh, my window is the one... Perhaps it is more seemly to ask the question of you, sir.
By all means. I can't mind the 7th, since it is by all odds the most remote and separate. See, up yonder, beyond the eaves.
You live there all alone?
A question hard to answer, Miss Phoebe.
Why?
In the house of the Seven Gables, is anyone truly alone? It's hard to tell whether the rats outnumber the ghosts, or vice versa.
Then why pick it as a lodging by free will?
If you must know, I can afford little, and the rent suits my purse. The house also suits my profession.
Your profession?
Mm-hmm. I'm a maker of daguerreotypes.
How fascinating. Can you really point a machine at someone and make a likeness of them?
I can. You doubt it?
Why, it sounds like a kind of magic to me.
Technically, in its way. But the result is a quite faithful reproduction of the subject. For example, this.
Oh, you created this?
I recreated this, shall we say.
It is a likeness.
Never mind the likeness. Miss Phoebe, look deeper. What kind of man is this?
Why, by all effects, a man of probity, of kindness, of property.
Is the picture that alone? Or can one look deeper?
Not knowing the subject, I don't see how.
Look at that eye. In the midst of a sunny countenance, speaking of an open heart. And yet, observe carefully the cast in the eye, the line of jaw, the subtle twist of mouth. Here is the man, the true man, sly, subtle, imperious, hard, and withal as cold as ice. Do you recognize him now?
Judge Pynchon. Still, there's some other resemblance.
The daguerreotype is of the living judge. The resemblance is quite marked. Give or take the style of whisker, the fashion of cloth, the bloat of jowl, it could be the original Colonel Pynchon who choked on his own blood.
Why have you this picture?
For the same reason, I wish to have all the Pynchon clan. Miss Phoebe, will you sit for me sometime?
All right.
In any history, one must balance the good against the bad.
Who are you?
A recorder of history by choice. Miss Hepzibah's lodger by chance. Will you sit for my portrait of you?
To what end?
That is beyond my power to say at this moment. Only that I can promise you, you are safe from any harm.
And what do I get out of it?
Well, first, what you put into it. Second, a record of your beauty. And third...
And third?
No less than your future. One way or another.
Then how can I refuse?
My object was to make sure, as best I could, that you shouldn't. For once, I was resting more secure in my rotting grave. The urge to wander grasped me less. The Pincham dynasty was a sorry lot at best, save one. And a new dynamic force was guiding my course to its resolution. It was time to start to pull my winding sheet more closely about me and begin to leave the future to itself. But not yet. The curse was not yet played out.
The mysterious Mr. Holdgrave. Who is he? What threat does he pose to Phoebe? Perhaps the only breath of sanity to blow sweetly through the dusty corridors and winding staircases of both the Pinchian history and the house that encloses the living, as tight and inescapable as the coffin in the grave. We'll return shortly with Act 3.
You don't see many people putting salt in their beer nowadays. Not that there's anything wrong with salt, on radishes or French fries, but man, not in the king of beers. Truth is, the only thing salt can do for Budweiser is make it salty. An unwise thing to do to the only beer in America that's Beechwood aged. Unsalted Budweiser has become the most popular beer in the world. That's because in brewing Bud, the Budweiser brewmaster goes all the way for a taste, a smoothness, a drinkability you will find in no other beer at any price. And something else you can take without a grain of salt. The fact that when you say Budweiser, you've said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
If you're serious about taking care of your lawn and garden, you're in for a lot of hard work. After all, it's nature itself you're trying to control. Hi, Frank Lieber here for True Value Hardware Stores. If there are ways around that work, well, you find them there. For instance, they have a Black & Decker Power Shrub and Hedge Trimmer with 13-inch double-edged blades. It trims on both back and forward strokes. It has two handles for balance control, and it's double insulated for electrical safety. Just $17.99. Another Black & Decker you'll find at True Value Hardware Stores is a deluxe lawn edger trimmer. The controls are up on top of the stand-up handle. The 8-inch blade cuts a 3/4-inch deep trench. It converts quickly into a trimmer, just $39.99. These Black & Decker tools give you two ways to get around hard work in the yard. And they're just a couple of the values that you'll find at the True Value Hardware Store nearest your home. Check the yellow pages.
For 2 centuries, the curse of the hanged wizard Matthew Mall has hung like a cloud over the house of the Seven Gables. The dark, deteriorating, rat-infested, and ghost-ridden house has outlived its time. Only the family to which it belongs hangs on to some distant remnant of the past.
There, Cousin Clifford. Safe in your little eyrie and retreat.
I trust you, Phoebe, to find me the spot in my private gable. While from here I can see all the world.
The bustle of our little town, certainly.
How free I feel after all those years. I have the wildest impulse.
What, Cousin Clifford?
For you too young, perhaps, to remember when we blew soap bubbles. A glass of soapy water.
And a clay pipe.
The pipe I still have.
Well, the soapy water I can provide.
But the lost years, where can they be found again?
I wish his life were more than a shadowed gable overlooking the street.
My cousin Hepzibah, to watch the whole stream of life flow by is at least an introduction to the thought of returning to it.
Well, perhaps you're right. Here's your soapy water. Take it to him to blow bubbles.
My window on the world, Phoebe.
The best vantage point in town.
You picked it for me. And without your support and love and interest, I suppose I should have just let the world go by.
Well, you can't do that if it's passing right by your feet.
Yeah, little Phoebe. You almost make me human again. That band coming by. Open the windows so that the sound can rumble into this lost, dark room.
There. Is that better?
I scarcely know. I get infected with strange madness. Like when I blew the soap bubbles in one burst on Jeffrey's head. Perhaps I should never get too close to life.
What do you mean?
You know the feeling when you're on a height. It's exciting, exhilarating, until you look down. Then there's this wild compulsion to throw yourself, to dash yourself to the ground.
But Cousin Clifford, everyone does it.
Say that everyone doesn't do it.
Christmas.
Save me. I cannot help myself.
No, stop.
Let me go.
No.
I can't help myself.
But I can. Cousin Hepzibah. Cousin Hepzibah.
You can't stop me. Nothing can stop me.
Help. Help. Help him, please. Stop him.
Good morning, Miss Phoebe.
Mr. Holgrave, how can I thank you?
For what?
For answering to my cry? For helping me hold back my cousin Clifford?
It's only fortunate that I was nearby.
I don't know how to explain.
Why should any of us try to explain the human effort, drive, psyche? We all react to our impulses and dreams to a greater or lesser degree. Did your cousin really want to jump?
I was with him. I could scarce hold him. Why would he pretend?
Why, indeed. At least there was no disaster. I'm glad I was part of avoiding that.
I can never thank you enough. How can I do something in return?
Sit for me. Let me make a daguerreotype of you.
That's simple enough. But why?
I wish I felt myself free to answer that completely, but, well, at least one obvious reason. There should be some permanent record of your beauty.
I'm afraid you overstate your case. Or my case. So I must admit that even if you had not half admitted it, I would suspect you of some ulterior purpose.
You never have quite trusted me, have you?
It's just that I sense you are not quite what you seem to be. That... Oh, I don't know what I feel. What do you want my image for?
Say that I want a record of the Pinson family.
And that alone?
No. My other purpose, I must keep to myself.
I could refuse.
I hope you won't.
It would be ungracious of me. I offered to do something in return for helping save Cousin Clifford's life. When?
The sooner the better. There is a skylight in my gable room. The afternoon light would be perfect. If you'll meet me there at 5, I'll be ready for you. I never thought to see the day I would harbor any kindly thoughts for any Pincham. But I find I have it in my heart to accept poor, withered Hepzibah and the half-mad Clifford. And as for Phoebe, well, she shall have an unseen protector observing from beyond the skylight window.
Yes, Phoebe, we're ready to begin.
Should we not have the door open and the windows unshuttered?
No. I want no other light source than what strikes across my shoulder to you from above. And we must catch it now. All right, are you ready?
What must I do?
Now lift your eyes to mine, above the lens. So, now, relax. Think of something soothing. Blue sky. The ripples on a sunlit pond. Oh, yes. Yes, that's lovely. Don't try to smile. Just stay in repose. When I expose the plate, you must not move for 20 to 30 seconds. Now, take a deep, slow breath and hold it. Now the plate is exposed. Silvered copper on which a film of silvered iodide has been formed by iodine vapor. The sands are dropping through my minute glass. And slowly, your image develops on the plate. This 1/2 minute, I hold you mesmerized, only to make you immortal, never to be forgotten, to last till the end of time. Now you may relax. It's all over. Phoebe? I've mesmerized her. Phoebe! Oh, God help me to resist my evil desire. Phoebe! Forgive me if now I say what I have not dared to say to you, nor ever will, perhaps, so long as you are a Pynchon. Phoebe, I love you. Love you with all my heart. Have loved you since that first moment I saw you in the garden. I have not, cannot dare to hope when all is known that you could return that love. Yet here, at this moment, with you completely in my power, I could cast a spell on you that would hold you forever mine. No, Phoebe. Rather that you were never mine than to hold you bound to me against your will. Phoebe Pynchon, can you hear me?
I hear you.
You are safe. You know that.
Safe.
You will have no memory of the trance you are in now.
No memory.
And when you wake, you will feel refreshed and your same lovely self. You promise me?
I promise.
Then, when I snap my fingers, wake.
Oh. Is my portrait all finished?
Yes, Phoebe.
May I see it?
Oh, no. I have much to do before that. This one, I want to color. I would not have you see it in black and white.
Oh, then I shall have to wait to look at it till I return.
Return?
I must go home to visit my mother and father and bring back the rest of my clothes.
You intend to stay on at Seven Gables, then?
Cousin Clifford needs me. And Cousin Hepzibah. I think it is my duty.
To wither and dry up like them? Before God, I pray you find some better fate. Some better fate indeed. Back in my grave, my bones are ready to settle to eternal sleep, and the curse is ready to be wound up. And the day after Phoebe left became the beginning of the end. Look at him, striding along the street toward the 1-cent shop, the picture of the man who owns most of the world and who intends to clutch the rest of it to him. The 200-year reincarnation of the Pynchon who put me 6 feet under. Judge Jaffrey Pynchon.
Judge Pynchon.
Yes, Cousin Hepzibah, the same.
What do you want?
Well, what else, cousin, but to have done with all this? I want to see Clifford.
No.
It is my purpose to do so before I leave this house.
Haven't you done enough to him?
30 years ago, our uncle died. His immense fortune was left to me, save for your life interest in this property and the house of the Seven Gables.
To Clifford, not to me.
Some months before our mutual uncle's death, Clifford boasted to me that he knew the secret of incalculable wealth. I believe that at this moment, if Clifford retain his wits and, if he chooses, he can tell me where the riches can be found if he chooses.
And if he can't, or doesn't?
Back to the dungeon. I'll await your bringing him in here in the old colonel's chair. It should in any case have been mine, by right.
I wish you ill of it, but I shall go find Clifford.
So come the years full circle. Revenge is as dusty in my mouth as these old bones which moldering cry for eternal rest. Only one more remains who deserves his fate, the same one that overwhelmed his liverish ancestor, who still pouts like a peacock in the frame of the portrait behind the judge's head. God give him blood to drink.
No. My watch. Whip. I have appointments to keep, important things to do. I can't. I can't.
Drink deep and die, and dies the curse with you.
I found him here, Phoebe. Of apoplexy, the last of his line.
But Hepzibah and Cousin Clifford...
They inherit the judge's country estate. Bright with sunlight, with no dark gables to hem them in. I've already moved them there.
I'm so bewildered. What shall I do now?
Phoebe, I have an offer.
What?
Well, first, let me reveal who I am and what I know. A 2-century-old secret guarded to prove that might is not always right. Look, the curlicue pattern around the portrait. So many bits of detail, and only one that holds the power to open the vault where the ancient document lies behind the portrait. All that blood for a piece of parchment, clothed in the dust of 200 years and not worth even the paper it's written on. A sad and silly secret handed down to me.
But who are you?
Like you, the last of the Pynchons, I am the last of the Mauls. Matthew Maule, and with the end of the family curse, I feel reborn. Or will if...
If what? Matthew?
Shall we end it all? Will you marry me, Phoebe, whom I love beyond all, and put an end for good to family feuds and tragic doom?
Oh, yes, Matthew. Yes. On one condition.
You have only to ask.
That we leave and shut up forever the house of the Seven Gables.
For several years, the house still stood. There were those who, passing it after dark, swore they could hear the tinkle of the harpsichord Alice Pynchon once used to play, the sound of the 1-cent shop bell, the cough of a man choking. But in a very few years, this had little of flesh or blood left in it, like all legends about haunted houses. This one's only special claim to fame was that it had, if you counted them, 7 gables. I'll be back shortly.
I want that sinus medicine.
Headache tablets?
No, sinus medicine. Sinus tablets. Helps the headache and the pressure.
Oh, you mean sign-off.
Exactly.
Headache pain is one thing. A sinus headache is something else. Sometimes your whole face can seem to throb with pain. You want relief. Take Sign-Off tablets. Sineoff, the sinus medicine that gives you a full dose of pure aspirin, plus a sinus drainer. Sign-Off, the sinus medicine that helps relieve sinus pain while you drain. And Sign-Off doesn't stop there. Have you tried Sign-Off Sinus Spray, the fastest known form of sinus congestion relief? It works in seconds. That's Sign-Off Sinus Spray. When sinus flares up, use Sign-Off tablets and spray only as directed.
Signoff.
Sign-Off.
Exactly.
Sign-Off, the sinus medicines in the bright red box.
You've been hearing some pretty lavish claims recently about miles per gallon. We'd like you to consider something equally important, and that's range. Range is the miles per gallon multiplied by the number of gallons your car's tank holds. Range is what makes the Buick Apollo such a special small car. It comes from coupling the Apollo's economical 6-cylinder engine with a standard 21-gallon tank. It holds a lot, but it doesn't use a lot. Look into the Apollo. It's the Buick of small cars.
Oh, sure. You can talk about good-tasting diet drinks, but I know. I'm Goldilocks, and here at my taste-testing laboratory, I taste-test them all. And nobody's been drinking my diet drinks until I tested sugar-free Diet 7-Up. And then, kabloomy! Every bear wanted some. Diet 7-Up is fresh, natural, delicious. Sugar-free Diet 7-Up. This one's just right.
It should come as no surprise that Judge Jaffrey Pynchon was the one who really murdered his uncle. To have made Gentle Clifford the scapegoat was reason enough for Matthew Mall to reach that powerful hand once more from the grave and exact what so seldom happens to the villains of this world: due retribution. Our cast included Norman Rose, Arnold Moss, Bryna Rayburn, Jada Rowland, and Stats Cotsworth. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division, the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg Special K cereal, and new sugar-free Diet 7-Up. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.